afternoon. University of Kentucky officially hired Mark Pope to be the school's new men's basketball coach. Duke forward Kyle Filipowski is entering the NBA draft.
It's time. You know what time it is? Time for Tuscaloosa's longest running sports show.
The biggest goal of our team,
especially in the first half,
we at Bama, we're trying to be the best. Always is to win a national championship.
Something cool to look back on.
We don't want to waste a failure.
You're inside the game.
John Mechie on the ground.
Appreciate your interest in the game.
On your home for Alabama sports.
And Alabama wins.
Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app. Powered by Tuscaloosa Toyota. And now, here's your award-winning host, Ryan Fowler.
All right, big good afternoon to you. Welcome into the game. T-Town Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC. Alabama's A-Day now 25 hours away. 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, Bryant-Denny Stadium. And you're starting to see this kind of pick up with the crowd in Tuscaloosa. You're starting to see, and some of that's probably just McFarland Boulevard on a Friday afternoon. Traffic usually backs up. People take, half day on Friday, or some take half day on a Friday. But, when we're going to dive into a couple different things. We're going to take your phone calls, and we'll have a little fun today because I want to see what you think as far as the attendance. I look at tomorrow, and I think about, will it be 2007? I don't know if it'll be that high, but I do think. Earlier this week, I predicted between 75 and 85. 75 and 85. It's just the number that I kind of stuck in my head. I'll be curious to see what you think. And really, when we go into this scrimmage tomorrow, one of the things that you want to watch out and you want to absorb is watch for those offensive line. Coach Saban used to tell us all the time, when you'd ask about the offensive line following a scrimmage or following a game, that he would be very hesitant about that offensive line. He would say, listen, guys, I watch the skill guys. I don't watch guys through, what do they call it, a duck move where they shuffle their feet through a sled. He said, no, I don't enjoy that. And he said somebody else, I remember one time Drew DeArmond asked this question. He goes, well, what did you think? And Drew said, so-so. And Coach Saban said, well, I'll tell you what, if I watch it and I think they're so-so, I may just hire your blank butt. So that was one of Drew DeArmond's favorite quotes because it was Coach Saban at his best. And he was great at that to be able to, just kind of initiate the little bit of a smack talk a little bit. And Drew handled it with just brilliance when he said it. So-so. I thought they were so-so. But here we go. And what will it be like? And you study, in statistics, you have false positives and false negatives. You have true positives and true negatives. We've heard a lot about this defensive side of the football. Is it a true positive or is it a false positive? Because when we think about this offensive line, it's not just what you're hearing behind the scenes. You're having coaches talk publicly about the portal. Kalen DeBoer did yesterday following it. He said, we're a little thin. And you almost wonder, you calculate because of this offense, defense side of things, are they trying to calculate this, trying to manage this particular scrimmage? And depth is an issue. And you almost wonder now in the world of college football that we live in, because the portal will open up and you'll have all these players that'll jump in and jump out. I'm not talking about Tuscaloosa, but just around college football. The depth is where it's been hurt the most, right? If you believe that you're a starter at a major program, other than a monetary value, is there really a difference of jumping into that portal? It is. It's an option. It's an option. But as we open up, we'll talk to Nick Kelly coming up at 2:15. We've also got some Kalen DeBoer audio that we're going to play. Going to have some fun, and we'll dive into it coming up in just a couple of minutes. And a lot of big weekends happening this weekend. But we want to do there's no way, because I'll be honest, I don't even know how they're going to keep score. I mean, I know what a touchdown is, but I don't know what a defensive tackle is. Does that get like a point or a half a point or a quarter point? Because it said that they were going to keep score and we were going to Wyatt, you're looking at me like and so if you're willing to know, jump in here, man, because I don't know.
No, I was just going to say maybe they do it like sacks where each guy gets a tackle and it's half a point.
Okay,
and so it adds up, like a half a sack maybe.
But and so I guess if there's any clear, but I mean I looked at the format and it said the game itself will be set up as an offense versus defense, and Kalen talked about this yesterday as well, with both sides able to score in points and scrimmage. The official score will be kept on the sidelines and communicated to the press box at the end of each drive. Okay, I like it. I like it. But how much of this is done simply because of depth? I think a lot of it is. I think this is one of those where you look at this offensive line, it's thin, and you're having coaches talk about it publicly, saying, hey, this offensive line is thin. It's not where it needs to be. And it's thin, and it's also young. This offensive line, we've watched them take some steps in the right direction, but we've also watched them be very challenged in pressure, in allowing pressure. And really, I think that's when you think about Jalen Milroe in the skill set last year, when you think about it escaping that offensive line, it didn't. I guess my question is, and I hope this doesn't sound rude, but was Coach Saban planning on playing with an offensive line in 2024? Oh, did Ryan just say that? I mean, was he going to play with an offensive line, or I mean, like, because if he stays around, this offensive line's probably in the same shape that it is. But how did we get here? And it really wasn't a shot at Coach Saban. It was more of a shot at how did we get here? Like, how did we miss on so much? Is this going back to Doug Marrone and the laziness that he showed in Tuscaloosa? I'm getting some nods across the room, but Doug Marrone, wow. Former head coach and a lazy offensive line coach here in Tuscaloosa. Is this just a byproduct of that? They missed on some guys. They did. The transfer portal hit them in the last couple of years, and so now you're at this position where it's thin. And then you have a couple of injuries. Well, I hate to tell you, when you look at the upcoming season, unfortunately, there'll be injuries in that season. And I'm not here to say that, somebody's going to get injured, but it's just part of the game. We play a collision sport, not a contact sport. We play a collision sport. And so you're down a couple of offensive line with Parker and Jaden Roberts, and you're down to a situation where you look at the scrimmage and you say, okay, it's 8-day scrimmage, but maybe this is why. I don't know. Just you hear this. We'll play the audio. We'll get to Nick Kelly coming up in a couple of minutes, but as we go out there, it'll be either confirmation of things that you hear, and I know everybody's got somebody that you can contact that you've heard something about practice. You buying it? Are you buying it? Well, we'll see. Tomorrow afternoon, we can buy it for ourselves because it will be televised by ESPN. And we've heard a lot of great things about the defensive side of the ball. We've heard a lot of great things about the defensive side of the football. But as I said, is there any way that could be, a little bit skewed because of this offensive line that has missed? And really in pass protection, I think when you go back to last scrimmage, I think I know Kalen DeBoer addressed the pressure. And I think that's why, for those who have had the privilege to go to practice, they've ran the football quite a bit. And, hey, that may be the strength of this team. And that was one of the things I'm going to dive into as we go into this 8-day game. What will be the strength of this team? Will it be the defensive side of the football, we think? Will it be the running backs? Will it be the wide receivers? Keep hearing a lot about the wide receivers. Will it be the quarterback position? Could it be a strength in that area? Could be. Absolutely, it could be. When you look at Kalen DeBoer and being that kind of quarterback whisperer, we'll dive into it. Nick Kelly's going to join us. Brent Beard's going to join us. We'll take phone calls coming up in a couple of minutes. But throw out a guess. And yesterday, we had a lot of people that said, hey, you got to do some type of contest. There's no way we can do a score prediction contest because I don't have a clue how they're going to keep the score. I've not been educated on that. So if you guys are educated on it, maybe you guys can tell me how they're going to keep score. But maybe Nick Kelly might know. Who's going to be a scorekeeper? Who's going to keep the score? Is it a certified score? What we'll do is we'll ask you a couple of different things. We will take a little bit of an 8-day prediction. Now, that will be skewed, too. Everybody does it in spring 8-day games or blue and orange games or puke orange and white up in Knoxville. No, that's what it is. It's puke orange. That's what that is. Everybody counts attendance, and they push the numbers up. I said 75 to 85. I'll be very curious to hear what you think. We may do and this is not, if you go into Bryant-Denny Stadium and you count every single person there, that's good, and I'm proud of you, but we will go based on the media relation. We get a statement every 8-day game, and right there will be the crowd attendance. So whatever the announced attendance is, we'll have to go by that because I don't trust my math and I don't trust yours either. So I'm not trying to be rude, but you can go out there and count them if you'd like. I'm not going to. So that might be a big number, or it could be kind of a middle of the road number. We'll go to Nick Kelly coming up in a couple of minutes. Kalen DeBoer opened up press conference yesterday with a couple of things on his mind. Here is a quick opening comment, and then we'll go to Nick Kelly from the Tuscaloosa News.
Great practice out there today. 14. I've been different places. 14, practice 14 the day before, or the practice before the spring game. A lot of times, a practice that's low key and, maybe a couple of situational things, that you're working on. Sometimes even just helmets and spiders. But, our guys, we went, with shells and got after it, got after it for a couple hours. Just a full-fledged practice. Obviously not tackling and, just shells, but really good work by our guys. Competitive, got a chance and switched it up a little bit. Ones versus twos versus ones. And, the neat thing is, those twos, playing good and playing well and, wanting to prove, how far they've come along and did some nice things today in practice. So extremely competitive across the board. The rest of the practice was what we generally do, ones versus ones, twos versus twos, but a good day. So format for the spring game will be, an offense versus defense. We won't have divided teams. A couple of reasons. Number one, I like to look at it as practice number 15. We'll see a lot of great scrimmaging out there, but it's a chance for us to get better. It's a chance for us to take a next step, a chance for us to evaluate as well. And so, try to really get down to the bare bones of playing some football. It gives us a chance to really also celebrate, what we're doing and where we're at and, enjoy the moment with the fans. And so excited to see a packed, stadium there and, looking forward to seeing everyone come and, support, our program. So.
Hold on a second. Was Kalen DeBoer on his first prediction? Because he said it was going to be packed. So he's the first one out of the gate. If he wins, then we're going to hook him up with a nice prize package, right? I mean, he said packed. He didn't give us a number, but he did say packed. So packed. What do you consider packed, though, at Bryant Denny Stadium? 100,000, 077. And that's not counting the two people.
See a packed stadium there.
That's right. That's what he said. So based on the traffic in Tuscaloosa, I'm going to stick with my prediction. I might be a little bit on the high side, but I'm going to go into it. My grandmother always used to tell me, don't let anybody steal your joy. And I hear a lot of people being negative about the A-Day game. I'm going to enjoy it. I think A-Day could be more important now than what it is in the past. I think when you look at this transfer portal, I think you can find a way to manage this. You can find a way to make sure that people feel like that they've got a role on your football team. So I'll go back to my grandmother's term. Some negative nannies out there, some Debbie Downers. We're not going to be one of those. We're going to have some fun, and we're going to kind of get you into the show. Stephen in Virginia, we'll get you coming up in a couple of minutes. We'll take phone calls. Give me your thoughts on the attendance. What do you think it will be? Right? Give me that number that you think it will be. And we'll hook you up with a nice little prize package here. So we've been able to go to the prize cabinet and dig out a couple of more things. So we'll do it as we take your phone calls right here. Powered by Tuscaloosa Toyota, TuscaloosaToyota.com, 3325 Skyline Boulevard, and online at TuscaloosaToyota.com. Nick Kelly, Tuscaloosa News on a free-for-all Friday, sponsored by Brian Harden Construction. Let it rip. You got something on your mind? We won't let you travel through the weekend. Get it off your chest. Get it off your chest before we get to A-Day weekend. And I know a lot of folks dialed in with the Masters. Doubt that'll be too much the topic that we'll get into, but we're glad it's happening. We'll continue with more of the game. Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC. Your home of Alabama Crimson Tide Sports.
Now, this hour's West Alabama real-time news update from the Tuscaloosa Thread Newsroom.
$1.3 million of $6 million in grants to agencies that will help low-income residents to decrease their energy costs by weatherizing their homes will go to agencies here in West Alabama. The priority is given to people with disabilities, elderly, and low-income households with children. The Alabama House of Representatives passed a bill that would make Juneteenth, a day that commemorates the end of slavery, a state holiday. State offices would not be closed. Employees would choose between Juneteenth and Jefferson Davis's birthday as a holiday. And A-Day kicks at 3 tomorrow afternoon on campus.
Get 20 24/7 local news coverage and sports updates when you download the free Tuscaloosa Thread app and sign up for twice daily email newsletters.
Don Wallace CPA, 527 Main Avenue in downtown Northport. Small business and personal income taxes, payroll, sales tax needs. They can also help you with nonprofit or church accounting or auditing. In business since 1999, they work for you, not the IRS. When you take on taxes, you got to have someone on your side. It's Don Wallace.
Right now, get $1,000 off select laundry appliances with Spring Black Friday savings in-store and online at the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Southern Ale House, 1530 McFarland Boulevard. Eat Southern, be Southern. All the biscuit sandwiches, the great Southern cuisine like the bacon wrapped meatloaf, the fish and taters. All the great sandwiches like the Yardbird, the great salads, the daily lunch and dinner specials Monday through Saturday at Southern Ale House. We've also opened up an additional part of Southern Ale House and expanded with our catering needs there to fulfill what you're looking for. 205-248-7500. Ask for Taylor, 205-248-7500. Catering from a small party to a large corporate event. Southern Ale House, 1530 McFarland Boulevard.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
What a beautiful afternoon. The sky's sunny, the high 70. Clear tonight, the low 45. The weekend looks good. Sunny weather continues tomorrow and Sunday with a warming trend. The high tomorrow 79, the high Sunday afternoon at 83. I'm James Spann on the ABC 3340 Weather Center on Tide 100.9. It's 71 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
Where the legends of Alabama football hang out.
McCarron, draw play. Lacey, huge hole.
Touchdown. Yep.
Alabama touchdown.
The game with Ryan Fowler. Your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Explanation. We're going to go to Nick Kelly. He is one of the beat reporters covering the University of Alabama. He's one of the guys that can dive into it, a couple of different things here. And right now we'll go to Nick Kelly, who covers the University of Alabama for the Tuscaloosa News. Nick, I hope you're having a great day. Welcome into the game in Tuscaloosa.
Hey, thanks for having me, Ryan. Nice and sunny. Can't complain. Hope your Friday's going well as well.
Well, and you think about what we've been through here in Tuscaloosa the last couple of days. It's good to see that sun. I'm glad that it made it to Tuscaloosa because we've been a little wet, a little waterlogged down here for the last couple of days.
Yeah, me too. I'm ready for that spring sunshine and just be able to soak it up and hopefully some nice weather tomorrow for A-Day.
Nick, we're going to have to depend on the expert here. Can you explain how they're going to keep score? Do you know anything about the format?
Man, I'm curious, just because it's not going to be the same. It's going to be defense getting points for certain things because it's going to be offense versus defense, right? So we're not going to see the team white versus team crimson like in the past. So, yeah, DeBoer is going to have a system for how the defense scores points. And as far as stats go, there's going to be a file that is updated and when we're informed what the points are and what the stats are. So it's going to be very intriguing, just kind of seeing how it all comes together. And there will still be a winner and loser in terms of one gets the steak dinner, the other gets hot dogs and beans. So we're still going to have that outcome, but in terms of how we get there, it's going to be very interesting.
What is the number one thing that you, as a beat reporter, and everything that you've heard behind the scenes in a public forum, whether it's press conference or media availability, what's the number one thing that you're going to travel in tomorrow and be focused in on?
I think offensive line. That and defensive backs are the two positions I'm going to be watching the most. I mean, you look at the offensive line where there's going to be some change. Going to have some guys auditioning a right tackle. Of course, Caden Proctor, him potentially coming in here soon after the spring for that left tackle spot. But I'm still intrigued to see what James Brockermeyer, how he's looking, just because he's been in competition there and he's got a good shot to get that job if he plays well. And so I'm just curious to see what he kind of looks like, just because we haven't really seen him much. And this is, year 3 for him. So I'm really curious to see him. And then defensive backs, they lost so many guys there. It's going to look so different. And I'm really just intrigued to see how these guys look, where they kind of play, where they match up. Red Morgan is a guy that I've heard a lot of good things about, and interested to see what he's like in that kind of setting and see from there. So plenty of intrigue, Ryan.
Yeah, I mean, you started the offensive line. I almost think that, and I know that Kalen DeBoer said yesterday one of the reasons why he likes to treat this as the 15th final practice, and it is, we know it better known as A-Day, but he also kind of said, hey, this is what I like to do. I almost think that some of the calculation could have been because of how thin they are at offensive line. And then when you have an injury, it really loses steam pretty quick.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, you want numbers at that spot just because you definitely go through some guys. I mean, they're fighting in the trenches. So, I think there is some limitations there. And like you said yesterday, they are going to try to reload to an extent in the portal. That's going to be a position to watch, see what they can get in the portal once it opens on Monday.
Well, and talking to some of these guys who cover the portal, there's a lot of teams who need offensive line. So if you're an offensive lineman out there listening, hit that portal. You can make some money on a Tuesday afternoon, wherever you may be in the world of college football. And I've said it multiple times. I'm not really a big fan of the portal, but I'd hit it every year. I'd literally hit it every year. I wouldn't have enough credits to graduate because I'd be all over the place if I had the skill set. One look at me and you could tell that I don't, but I'd hit that portal every time they gave me the chance.
Sure. I mean, hey, smart business decisions can be made there. And you got to maximize your value and take advantage while you can. If your maybe future is a little bit limited in terms of professional opportunities. So, I'm all for these athletes being able to get compensated for their hard work and their skill sets. And of course, I think we can debate the merits plenty in terms of what it looks like, but I'm definitely all for these guys getting paid.
Nick, as we are now 141 days away, what do you think will be the strength of this football team?
Man, good question. The linebacking core I think should be really solid. I mean, you got Jahad Campbell and Deontay Lawson in the middle, and that's a great kind of build from the middle and work outward kind of thing. Running backs, I'm really intrigued and frankly excited to see what Justice Haynes can do in year 2. Jam Miller, you got other guys there at the spot too. And I think you have to say quarterback as well, right? I mean, you got Jalen Milroe, who's back as the starter. Got some great depth there. And so I think the quarterback, as long as he keeps progressing and takes the next step in his game, could really be a strength of this team too. So those are 3 spots that stand out to me.
Nick, going back to the defensive back, is it corner that you're focusing on this portal window when you look at it? Because you hear a lot about young guys, and we watched Caleb Downs grow up in front of our eyes last year. Is it simply that area when you think about the cornerback of that defensive back room?
Yeah, I was thinking that coming into spring, too, just because, you lose Kool-Aid, you lose Terrion, you lose Trey Amos, who's basically the third guy there and thought to have been a starter this year. But you brought in Damani Jackson, so you got him, but there's a lot of unproven guys at the other outside cornerback spot. So I would think you'd want to get a little more veteran experience there if you can, just to have some guys who have gotten some collegiate snaps, have some guys who know what to do. And maybe you don't necessarily get just a complete blue chip guy, but just to have another experienced guy and have him compete with the likes of these younger talents that they have, because they've got talented guys. They've got some good options, but maybe it's not right now that they need to see the field. So, I think you got to go get more cornerback depth and maybe get some guys who could start.
Nick, what are you expecting crowd-wise? Beautiful day tomorrow expected here in Tuscaloosa. Somewhere between 70 to 82 is what the projected temp is for tomorrow. Completely dry, or at least that's the way it looks from here. I know Alabama weather can change on a dime, but what are you expecting tomorrow?
I think it should be pretty solid. I think it's going to be one of the biggest we've seen in recent years for good reason. It's a new era. I want to show support for Kalen DeBoer. But then again, I don't know if it'll be quite to the same extent of when Nick Saban arrived back in 2007, because I think that, you could tell me better than I can maybe say it, but just that crowd, I think, was a little bit more starved for success, and he brought a lot of anticipation of that. And so, obviously, they've been at the peak of the sport for however many years with Nick Saban, so they're not quite starving to get back to that point, but I think there's a lot of excitement. Here's a new era. here's a new chance to welcome in a new coach, show that support that I think he's already been impressed by. And at great weather, Nick Saban's going to be out there with the captains for the ceremony, Denny Chimes, and so just all kinds of fun things going on. I'd have to think it's a pretty good crowd, especially if it's good weather.
Well, and I think the way is, when you talk about Coach Saban, I wonder where he'll be. Will he watch it on the sidelines? Will he watch it? I mean, this is something that he really won't have to make too many of these decisions in the fall because he'll be traveling with ESPN College Game Day. But, does someone put him in the box? I mean, since he's a media member, Nick, will he sit by you in the press box?
That was my first guess.
Okay.
But if that doesn't happen, no, I'd be more shocked to see that than I was to see Bill Murray sitting in press row for a little bit at the Final Four. That was kind of crazy to look up, and he was sitting there. I think he moved eventually, but as I was finding my seat, here was Bill Murray sitting at the end of press row in my row. I would still be more shocked to see Nick Saban sitting there than Bill Murray. But yeah, I'm guessing that if he's at games, he'll probably be in a box. I mean, yeah, he's not going to be in the sideline. I don't think he wants to hover that much.
Sure.
But I could for sure see him hanging out in the box, especially because that's where a lot of boosters are. And, it's not too bad to have Nick Saban shaking hands with those folks if he's at a game or if he's at A-Day. But, it'll be interesting to see. But I think that the Sabans, it sounds like they fully intend to keep supporting the program and being there as much as they can. And this is home for them. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Miss Terry, Kristen, Nicholas, their whole family in different ways supporting the program as the season goes on.
Hey, Nick, he could be like a pastor with an offering plate. He could just go box to box to box to box to box going, hey, I'm the new NIL chairman in Tuscaloosa, and we're passing the plate here. I mean, this might be an option. Think about it. I mean, can you imagine him running in and out of those boxes? He could probably get a pretty good NIL collective built in a couple of hours going through A-Day boxes.
Yeah, there's probably a more successful way than to go looking for cash in these A-Day boxes. But, it's an option, but let's just say I think I'd be surprised to see Nick Saban doing that.
Yeah, no, I am too. But, if Nick Saban walked up to the average millionaire and said, listen, we need you, they would probably say, absolutely, Coach. No doubt. So
how could you say no to Nick Saban, right?
No.
I mean, that'd be tough to do. So,
Nick, I definitely want to commend you on the job that covering the Final Four and covering out in Spokane and out in L.A., the University of Alabama basketball team. In any way, will they be recognized tomorrow? Have you heard?
I don't know. That's a good question. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me, but also I know that Coach Oates and the program is very much so busy trying to get the new roster together and trying to put those pieces together. And now, of course, they have a guy visiting tomorrow in Youngblood, or he's supposed to visit this weekend. I don't know the exact date or the exact timeline, but it wouldn't surprise me if some folks are at A-Day for that. But as far as honoring them, we'll see. But I know that Coach Oates is plenty busy right now trying to, kind of piece things together.
And one of the guys, and I know that you were able to confirm that last night and confirmed by a source that Riley Griffin plans to enter the portal. What was your reaction when you hear Riley Griffin going to hit that transfer portal?
Yeah, I mean, it's on a personal level. I really like covering Riley. He's a fun player to cover, big, fun personality. So I was a little bummed from that perspective, but just in terms of him as a player, there's some rumblings that maybe he'd be a guy to go portaling toward the end of the season. Didn't know if it would happen or not, but it has. And so, yeah, I think it's just a matter of whether it's Alabama had someone else they wanted to add for that spot or he saw a better opportunity elsewhere. I think the two sides are just deciding to move on, and it's something where, yeah, he's been a really good player for 2 years. I mean, 2 years right now in this NIL era is kind of a lifetime to be in one place. And he was and had a lot of success, but I think they'll definitely find some guys to fill those spots. I mean, that's the thing. They're in great shape in terms of what they can do in the portal. Alabama's never been more attractive, I would think, as a guy who wants to come play somewhere. I mean, they just made the Final Four, and they develop NBA draft picks, and Natos plays a fun style, so they're going to be able to get guys. And so Of course, it's a bummer when you have a fan favorite or a guy who a lot of people like seeing leave. But just for example, this Youngblood guy, I mean, I think he'd be a good replacement for Ryland, and a guy who could fill similar roles. And so they'll be fine. But it is a bummer when you have a guy who's kind of a favorite leaving.
Do you expect Alabama to be busy in the portal on the basketball side of things?
Yeah, definitely. I was trying to crunch the scholarship numbers myself, and from what I understand, I mean, I think that and of course depends on what Sears and Nelson do for their draft decision, but they should be adding at least 2 or 3 guys in the portal. They already added Houston Mallett, but I wouldn't be surprised to see them add 2 or 3 more players. And I think a rim protector is at the top of the list. From what I understand, they're working on that. And I'm going to be curious to see who they end up landing there, but I think that's a top priority for them. But I think you're going to see some guards added as well.
Nick, what does the Final Four do for this program and where this program can go?
I mean, it takes it to the next level, and not only to keep Auburn from having that over their head for bragging rights. But no, I think it does totally bring this program to the next level. I mean, Nate Oates has been having this team compete on a national level. They've beaten some of the best teams in the country when he's scheduled non-conference games, and they've won SEC championships. But this is the complete next level. You make it to the Final Four. That makes Oates nationally relevant. It makes Alabama nationally relevant. I mean, I can't overstate how big them making the Final Four was, other than it just being really fun to have gone there and experienced it for this team and this fan base. That's a huge recruiting tool because they pretty much have everything else other than national championship. I mean, again, Oates has developed draft picks. They've won conference championships. They play a fun style. I mean, there are so many things that you can pitch that your pitch becomes easier and easier. And I think when you add a Final Four to that, it makes you really legit.
When you look at Kentucky struggling to hire a coach, and certainly they've got their guy, but how much does this go back to Greg Byrne and being kind of proactive of saying, we've got to get Nate Oates locked down, because if that contract's not signed at the point that it was going into that SEC tournament or at some point there in the near future, then he could have been a major target. But a big salute to Greg Byrne.
No doubt. I mean, man, that decision looks brilliant. And of course, at the time, it was kind of like, the team was kind of on the downswing, wasn't playing their best basketball, but still signed that extension. And, man, it's a good thing they did, because he goes on a Final Four run. Kentucky opens. I mean, that was one of the few jobs where I really don't think, Ryan, that Nate Oates wants to leave. And he has good reasons to stay, personally and professionally. But it's like when a job like Kentucky comes open, part of you thinks, well, is that maybe the one thing he'd leave for? And the fact that he still didn't with a blue blood opportunity open like that would have fit. I mean, it's not that far away. And I think culturally he would have fit in just fine there. So it would have fit Nate Oates if that ended up being something he wanted. But the fact that he essentially said no to a blue blood like that and wants to keep with this opportunity at Alabama, I mean, that's huge. I mean, that really is huge. And of course, that $18 million buyout would not have been prohibitive for Kentucky, but it definitely is a deterrent, because if you don't have to pay $18 million plus what you're going to pay the coach, it's ideal. And so, yeah, really well done on Greg Byrne's part to sign him to that extension.
It tells you what Nate Oates has been able to do. Nick, you're the first guest out of the gate on the Friday prior to A-Day, and I've worked in like 4 basketball questions. I mean, if that tells you anything right there. I mean, that's the crazy part. I mean, really, this spring, it's like the most interesting spring in a long time for football, and I've barely covered any of it just because I've been on the road with basketball. Like, who would have thought? So it's just kind of crazy to think that basketball has dominated the conversation like this as much as it has. I mean, football's been big too, don't get me wrong, but just basketball, like you said, is kind of that surprise thing. And so, no, it's never been more relevant than it is right now. Nick Kelly, Tuscaloosa News beat reporter covering the University of Alabama, Alabama football, and Alabama men's basketball. You can find him at TuscaloosaNews.com, TuscaloosaNews.com. You can also find him on the Twitter account @@Nick Kelly, @Nick Kelly, @Nick Kelly. Nick, I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. I'll see you tomorrow. And are you going to be a coach? Because didn't you coach last year? Were you not on the sidelines?
Yeah, I got to be the media coach last year, which was a blast, and honestly, I'm glad I did it, because I don't know what that's going to look like under DeBoer. But yeah, it was pretty neat to get that experience. But I was on the losing team, so it's a good thing my coaching my coaching stint was pretty short-lived because all I got was the hot dogs and beans. So.
Okay. Which, as a kid, we loved those. I mean, man, that was like a delicacy. I mean, it was big time, but not so much. I guess.
I'm not gonna lie to you. The beans that they made last year, I mean, yeah, they were baked beans. It wasn't a steak, but still some of the best baked beans I've ever had.
So are you saying a loser is really not a loser on A-Day? Is that what you're saying, Nick?
I mean, I'm not saying they're like, trust me, I think you'd rather have the steak, much better setup, and the display for the beans and the weenies is not the most. It looks kind of gross. I'm not gonna lie, but baked beans were actually really tasty, so it's not a true loser.
Okay. All right. Nick Kelly, I appreciate you, man. Thank you again for being a part of our show. I'll see you tomorrow inside Bryant-Denny Stadium, man. Thank you again for being a part of our show.
Thanks for having me, Ryan. We'll see you there.
Thank you. Nick Kelly, Tuscaloosa News, one of the beat reporters covering the University of Alabama, and I dive into a lot of different things. Man, we're gonna go in a lot of different directions today. We're going to go to Stephen in Virginia. We'll take your phone calls. But as you're watching on television or if you're attending in person, when you're looking at this game, are you excited? Because I do hear a few Debbie Downers. I do. I hear some folks that are very negative about this game. I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to embrace it. I love it. And we're going to have a little something special for those Alabama fans a little bit later. No, I've not even told you what it is. But we may have an All-American who just happens to swing by Tide 100.9 Studios. So I guess I need to take out the trash and mop the floor. It's carpet, so we're not going to mop it. But I got to make sure this place is smelling good. We might have an All-American swing by. And one that knows a lot about the defensive side of the football. So we'll talk more about that. We'll take your phone calls, 205-342-9904, 205-342-9904. We're going to take predictions on the attendance today. What do you think as far as your attendance-wise of what that's going to be like? What is it going to be like as far as attendance? And we're not going to let you count them. So if you choose a certain number and you went out and you say, I went out and I counted them, there's nowhere near, we will go based on the official stats. So if you think the stats and the media relation crew is going to skew the numbers just a little bit, then you need to calculate that in. If not, then if you think it's going to be lower, if you think it's going to be higher, then jump into it and talk to us. 205-342-9904. We'll get to Stephen in Virginia. We'll get to Pee Wee in Grand Bay. He's the unofficial offensive line coach. We'll talk with him and a lot more. Nick Kelly a couple of minutes ago. Brent Beard a little bit later. And a very special guest that will join us in
.com/sound and get up to 30% off today.
See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
Nuke's Eatery right there on University Boulevard, 205 University Boulevard. Call ahead orders 205-758-2455. We always like to say close enough that you can smell the championships. It used to be the fringe of the campus of the University of Alabama. Now the campus has built around them. When you're talking about a great sandwich like the Nuke's Q sandwich or maybe a great salad, that macaroni and cheese is outstanding. The bowl of soup, a cup of soup. As we lower temps here in West Alabama, you can parlay those and you can pick a pair. Maybe it's a California-style pizza. Maybe it's the great chicken salad, the pimento cheese. Catering from a small office party to a larger corporate event.
Each at counselingservice.org/DBC or maybe purchased at the door for $40. Proceeds benefit the Family Counseling Service of West Alabama.
Over 60 years of serving Tuscaloosa and West Alabama. When you talk about the friendly staff at Pat's Florist and Gourmet Baskets, 1010 Queen City Avenue. When you look at the fall floral arrangements, maybe you're trying to lift someone's spirits a little bit under the weather, celebrating a birthday or special occasion. It's Pat's Florist, 205-345-5093. Anniversary, birthday, get well, love, romance. Make someone smile today. Pat's Florist and Gourmet Baskets.
Find Tide on Twitter @Tide109 to keep up with show announcements, guests, and our reporters in the field.
Please, but you can't stop Debbie Downer.
Noah, what did you do there? The Debbie Downer?
Yeah, Debbie Downer theme song.
Okay. Whose music is it today? Is it Jackson's playlist? Or is it, I don't know. I would think it more we were going to go with Bama Nick's playlist if it's okay.
Oh, goodness. Not Bama Nick's playlist.
Yeah. I mean, Bama Nick's playlist would be Charlie Pride's greatest hits. It would literally be Charlie Pride's greatest hits. He would just go down if you've ever noticed, Bama Nick always brings up Charlie Pride. Literally, I think that must be his favorite musician. So, and we're all Charlie Pride fans, right? Good, authentic country.
Maybe some Dukes of Hazzard theme song in there.
Well, I think that's for Jumbo, isn't it? Doesn't he like the theme there? All right, let's go to Kalen DeBoer talking about is spring games like this, spring practice. He was asked the question yesterday, and he knocked it out of the park, but he was asked about the value of spring football and A-Day game, and this is how he responded.
Oh, yeah, I definitely think so. I mean, a lot of guys still getting their reps and, our install that we kind of have. I mean, I remember Kane's install from a couple years back, and I think he's, doing very similar, maybe even more, than what I remember at that time. And so offensively, it's full steam ahead. So, I think the guys have done a good job, and I don't think we've really wavered, and it would definitely not be because we're, thinking about anything the portal might come into play with.
Okay, and I think that's probably the way. I go back to Coach Saban, and I know I make a lot of references to Coach Saban, but it's one of those that we've covered for 17 years. We learned the way that he used to say things, and it's hard not to be impacted by that thought process. He used to talk about injuries. Well, okay, I'm pretty thin here. Well, I can't play and I can't call a game based on, I got to worry about injuries. I think you just got to play the game. You got to let it all work out, whether it's at a certain competition at a certain position or whether it's trying to manage that portal. You have to, you do things, and I do believe that they've probably done some things to maybe add value to certain players. To manage that portal. And I think they've also done the opposite where you've talked about you got that help wanted shingle out. Help wanted, looking for a cook. Anybody know how to cook? No. I mean, I'd hate to know I had to cook something. But we're help wanted, looking for, I don't know, whatever, a dishwasher or a brick mason, or maybe it's a welder like Brian Hard Construction. You hang it out and you say, hey, help wanted, I'm looking for a welder here, and it's Brian Hard Construction that will be a part of your winning team. BHardenConst.com, where you can actually join that help wanted shingle, whether you're a pipe welder, pipe fitter, structural welder. They're looking to grow their winning team. Brian Hard Construction. Let's go to Stephen first up. Stephen, good afternoon. You're in the game. Hey, Stephen. Hey, how are you, Stephen?
Hey, good, doing good. A couple quick questions. I was just wondering, how's the kid at wide receiver that got hurt in spring ball earlier this year? How's he doing? And
Jalen Hale?
Yeah.
Yeah, really haven't got an update on him in probably several weeks. That may be a little middle note. I'll kind of dig around a little bit and see what I can find, but it may be a thing that it's probably going to take some time.
Yeah, okay. Another thing, do you think if Jalen struggles any this year, you think the new coach will have a quick hook? And how is the backups looking in practice? Are they up to snuff with the new system? And how's that going?
Well, I think when you look at it, I mean, listen, at 141 days, a young man that was in the Heisman balloting in the top 10s, Jalen Milroe is going to be your guy.
No doubt.
For him to lose that job, he was probably going to have to struggle quite a bit, early on. And to answer your question, how quick DeBoer would be, hypothetically, I don't know. Because we just don't know what Kalen DeBoer is going to be like. Is he going to expect a lot from his quarterbacks? Absolutely. Is he going to have a quick, hand to get him out? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that.
Oh, okay. Well, just a random question. And
what do you think?
Well, Jalen, if they let Jalen play Jalen like Jalen.
Hey, that right there may be the Milroe train coming through. You either get on or get off, right? I mean, that could be the Milroe train right there, Stephen.
I've always been on his side. I always felt like they needed to let him play like Jalen Hurts, use his legs to escape the pressure, because he's got a heck of an arm.
Well, there it is. Stephen, are you going to get run over by that train?
No, I'm going to catch it to Alabama second week of the season. Come down and watch them play for the first time in been a fan since '72. I'm going to finally get a chance to come down in September.
I got you. Well, that would be an awesome time. And the Amtrak train runs not too far from where we're located here on Skyline Boulevard. So we'd welcome you to our town. And if you've never been here, we'd love to have you.
Oh, I can't wait to get there. I've been a fan since 72, like I said, in the John Hannah days, All-American left tackle at Alabama. Been a fan through the good and the bad. So I'm just looking forward to being there. And roll Tide.
Well, roll Tide to you, man. Hey, give me a prediction. What do you think attendance-wise will be?
I'm going to say around 97 something.
97?
Yeah.
That would be larger than the A-Day crowd because the stadium has expanded since Coach Saban arrived. So you're saying Kalen DeBoer gets more than Nick Saban did at year number 1?
Yeah, I'm going out on a limb. Yes, I am. I'm going out on a limb for that Bama boys.
Okay, 97,000. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. I think the rest of the SEC would take note with that.
They better because we don't consider them puke orange down in Knoxville now. Can't stand them. You don't like Tennessee? Oh, I can't stand Tennessee.
Who do you dislike the most, Auburn or Tennessee?
That's a tie right there for me.
Yeah, me too.
I put Texas in that category too now.
Okay, so Texas, Auburn, and Tennessee. Just 1A, 1B, 1C.
That's right. Yeah, anyone. We got to win them 3 games every year. That's must-win games right there.
It wouldn't bother me if we didn't play the Auburn Tigers every year. Just kick them to the curb.
Yeah, I'm right there with you.
Yeah, you and I would get along. I think you and I have a lot of things in common.
Hey, the first thing I found out when I was going to Bama, I've located a barbecue place down there close to the stadium.
Okay, which one is it?
The name, I can't get the name now.
I don't know any barbecue places close to the stadium, but I'm trying to think. There might be a couple downtown, but it's a little bit of a further drive, just a few minutes. But it's.
I'd have to look it up again. The name escapes me at this moment there, but I said the best barbecue in Alabama is all I went by.
Okay.
And I looked them up on Google.
Well, you never know.
They said they was. I know they're close to a Walmart down there. I did see a Walmart pop up on the screen when I looked them up. They're close to a Walmart. The barbecue place is. That's the best I can remember. But I can't wait to get there.
I would ask my producer, but all he eats is macaroni and cheese. So.
Tell him he got to eat the good stuff. Baked beans, barbecue, coleslaw, tater salad, banana pudding, iced tea. Woo! Roll Tide. I'm ready.
Boy, you getting me fired up, Stephen. I mean, I just had lunch, but I'm willing to do it again if there's an option. But Stephen, I've got you down 97-5-22, right? Is that what you said?
That's right. Yeah.
97-5.
I'll be listening.
Roll Tide. Thanks, Stephen.
Roll Tide. Catch you later.
Thank you, man.
All right, goodbye.
Roll Tide. Stephen checking in from Virginia. You think Stephen was Virginia, or do you think that was? It sounded like Virginia, but I don't know. What do you think, Noah? Would you bet on that? I mean, we don't have caller ID here, even though a lot of people do think that we do. I don't know. You think Stephen was in Virginia? You think Stephen was Virginia?
Maybe South Virginia.
South Virginia. Okay. I mean, it could have been Nick Saban.
Jackson says West Virginia.
Oh, well, that could be Nick Saban's relatives there. Okay. All right. I'm asking the questions. Hey, listen, as media guys, we ask questions. Let's dive into it. Nick Kelly a couple of minutes ago, and got a special guest that's going to join us a little bit later. We'll talk to Brent Beard. We've got a guest that's going to join us in studio. We'll do that coming up, hopefully a little bit later in the program. We're always powered by Tuscaloosa Toyota. I do want to remind you about R&R Cigars. If you're thinking about the Masters and you want to hang out, relax, and recharge, R&R Cigars, 2703 6th Street in downtown Tuscaloosa, 2703 6th Street in downtown Tuscaloosa. Relax and recharge.
Are you?
Silk almond milk.
With calcium, vitamins A, D, and E.
Feel plenty good.
With only 43 seconds remaining,
facing a 4th and goal from the 31-yard line at Jordan-Hare Stadium. Quarterback Jalen Milroe finds himself under immense pressure, scrambling to connect with Isaiah Bond in the corner of the end zone for a miraculous come-from-behind victory over Auburn. The jaw-dropping 27-24 result came on the 10th anniversary of the Kick Six. Daniel Moore is proud to announce 4th and 31, his upcoming oil painting featuring the now famous Gravedigger play. New Life Art is now accepting pre-orders for limited edition fine art prints and canvases of 4th and 31. See the preliminary pencil sketch for the artist's full color painting at danielmooreart.com. Pre-order your art
at Lowe's. Shop Klein Tools in-store and online today because Lowe's knows tools. Lowe's knows pros.
Where college football season never ends. The Game with Ryan Fowler. Your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9.
This is big boy football.
And streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
We've got to rejoin our music place.
In 2007, Alabama had 92,138. The following year, they dropped down to 78,000 and went back up to 84, 91, 92 in 2011. We're pretty excited, right? We had to get remotivated a little bit after we won that national title. 78,000 in 2012, 78, 2013, 73, 2014, 65, 76, 74, 74, 62, 47 in 2021. And then in 2022, 31,000. 2020, they did not have a spring game. We know that spring practice was canceled because of Fauci and his turn on our country. Anyway, it's a free-for-all Friday. I can rant any way I want to rant, but Fauci in 2020 got spring games, so the Fauci flu. But in 2023, 58,710, and the Crimson team won 30-21. We'll dive into it. Let's go to tradition and how you balance that from Kalen DeBoer. This is how he responded. Great question by Katie, asking this question here from Bama Central.
Kind of how are you balancing honoring tradition while also kind of doing things your own way?
I'm laughing because when I talked to the guys about the steak dinner and I referred to it as I think, what did I say? Beanies and weenies. That's something that could slip of the tongue. And so, of course, we had a good little laugh out there on the field. But, there's some traditions that the guys certainly bring up that have been important, that they feel strong about. And, I'm still learning some of those things that haven't maybe come up yet. You're still learning some of those really neat things that are important to these guys because it's happened in the program for many years.
All right. Got it. And we're still learning. We're still learning about you, Coach. We're still learning. I mean, like Stephen a while ago in Virginia asked me the question. We're going to Pee Wee in Grand Bay. We're going to talk about Alabama's big spring game. We'll ask you your thoughts. We'll talk to Brent Beard. And then we got a very special guest that's going to join us coming up, an All-American defensive back. There's another hint. Who is it? Somebody drove a long way just to be here. And for those who live within a couple of hours away from A-Day, some of these guys are embarrassing you. Some of them are embarrassing you because they're willing to drive to Tuscaloosa. Who will it be? We'll talk about it. He'll join us in studio coming up somewhere in that 4 o'clock hour. We'll talk to Brent Beard at 3:30.
Ads and rotors together, you'll save 15%. It's just part of what makes us America's #1 brakes destination.
Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing. Call Paul at 205-331-6823. Custom curbing for your home or business. Do away with those plastic individual stone borders. Go for that more permanent, decorative concrete border. No more grass growing between those individual stones. Cleaner to edge to maintain.
They're willing to travel, not just here in Tuscaloosa, but also in our neighboring states as well over in Mississippi. Many colors and choices. They'll customize for that individual taste and house. Give them a call at 205-331-6823. You could also go to their Facebook account. Find their page. You can see exactly what the videos. They came out, did a free quote. Paul gave me an evaluation. Give them a call, 205-331-6823.
For Amazon and other brands, just download the free Upside app and use promo code GEAR for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code GEAR.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather. What a beautiful afternoon. The sky sunny, the high 70. Clear tonight, the low 45. The weekend looks good. Sunny weather continues tomorrow and Sunday with a warming trend. The high tomorrow is 79, the high Sunday afternoon at 83. I'm James Spann on the ABC 3340 Weather Center on Tide 100.9. It's 72 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
It's the Tide 100.9 30K workday payday. Woo! Win cash every weekday 8 to 5. Here's this hour's cash code.
160. Again, that's 160. The code is 160.
Enter that code now on the Tide 100.9 app. Click on the 30K payday button and enter the code for a chance to win $30,000.
From the Fox Sports Studios in Los Angeles, here's Monty Bolaños.
Breaking news in college hoops and the NBA as ESPN is reporting that UConn 7'2" sophomore Donovan Clingan will enter the 2024 NBA draft. So will Duke forward Kyle Filipowski. The University of Kentucky officially hired Mark Pope to be the school's new men's basketball coach. Round 2 at the Masters continues, and right now Bryson DeChambeau is in the lead all alone at 7 under par overall through 12 holes, while Tiger Woods is 1 over through 17 holes. The projected cut right now is +4. And in Major League Baseball, ESPN reports that Shohei Ohtani's former interpreter, Ippei Misuhara, has surrendered to authorities this morning, and he is due in court at 1 p.m. this afternoon in Los Angeles. The Yankees-Guardians game in Cleveland has been postponed due to inclement weather. They're now going to play a split doubleheader tomorrow.
Any way you want it, that's the way you need it. Any way you want it. She loves to laugh, she loves to sing, she does everything. She loves to move, she loves to groove, she loves a lot of things. All night, oh, every night. So hold tight, ooh baby, hold tight. Oh, she said, any way you want it, that's the way you need it. Any way you want it. She said, any way you want it, that's the way you need it.
All right, we welcome you right back into the game. Stephen in Virginia gave us his prediction, 97,522. You can give us that precise, or you can give a little variance there. But whatever the media relation department chooses to release, we'll go by that number. What do you think it'll be? Phone lines literally jammed up on a Friday prior to A-Day. A lot of people in Tuscaloosa. I know I see one of these callers up here on the big board. I know he had a good lunch. I'll just leave it at that. I see him up there. We'll get to Pee Wee coming up in just a couple of minutes. We are always powered by Tuscaloosa Toyota, TuscaloosaToyota.com, 3325 Skyland Boulevard, and online at TuscaloosaToyota.com. The great dealership right there. Buy 3 tires, get that 4th tire for only $1. Happening. How about a Camry? How about a Corolla? How about a Tundra? How about a Tacoma? How about a 4Runner? You'll find Tuscaloosa Toyota right there on Skyland Boulevard. Why don't you come to A-Day, support the Crimson Tide, and walk away with a brand new vehicle? That sounds like a pretty good deal. RAV4, Highlander, Camry, Corolla, Tundra, Tacoma. You'll find all of those great options and probably the most inventory they've had. Approaching now 3 years that this is a record-setting inventory that you can find at Tuscaloosa Toyota, TuscaloosaToyota.com. It is their free-for-all Friday here in Tuscaloosa, Brian Harden Construction. And let's go to the unofficial offensive line coach. Pee Wee, have you been rehired by Kalen DeBoer?
Not officially yet, but that is in the works.
Okay. So you're working on that. Okay, as the unofficial offensive line coach. Okay.
Just making sure that's still.
That's right.
Yeah. I mean, if Kalen DeBoer quits on that tradition, we're going to have a little talk.
Well, the first caller has already been secured.
Okay, good.
I had it long before Coach. Well, I had it long before Coach Saban ever got there too. So
how long have you been doing it, Pee Wee? The first caller out of the gate.
Probably 25 years.
Okay. Wow. Okay. Wow.
Something like that. I mean, the show's been going on for over 30, and I've been calling it for that long.
Oh, has it really only been going 30 years? Okay. And they used
I think that's, 1988, so however many years that is.
Okay. All right. Well, Pee Wee, I would ask you, what are you going to be focusing on? But I think the world already knows, but you're welcome to tell us.
Well, yeah, of course, I'm real curious to see how the offensive line plays, especially Tommy Brockmeyer. Been seeing some stuff and reading some stuff on him. He's doing really well, but I like to see how their communication is. Are we going to have good communication? Because at times that was an issue last year. Everybody wasn't quite on the same page. And, to see how everything works, how the running backs and all that, if we can get some movement on the front line and run the ball, and not allow any sacks, 0, I would consider that a big win.
And it is a little concerning, though, when you hear a coach, and some of it's just because you're so thin at that position. And you almost wonder, Pee Wee, how did we get here? How did we get to the point where we're this thin at offensive line? Certainly the transfer portal made a difference last year. It made a difference this year. But then when you back up and you're thinking, how did you get here? Where you're sitting here at spring football and you're going, where is the offensive lineman at?
Right. Like you said, the transfer portal played a huge part in it. But, and then we graduated some guys, too. And, ever since all that came along, it's hard for us to keep our offensive linemen. 2021 Remington, is that, or the Joe Moore Award, is that correct?
Yeah, with Landon Dickerson and that group. By the way, yes. Landon will be at the Bryant Museum. They're doing an evening with Landon Dickerson at the Bryant Museum. You can see the Bryant Museum's on Twitter account or Facebook. They're talking about it. So go over and support the folks at the Bryant Museum. So I know Landon's going to be doing an evening with Landon.
Wow, that ought to be very interesting.
Well, and really that's I've never seen, we talk about the transfer portal and a guy coming in as a transfer. He immediately was a leader at Alabama. Immediately.
Correct. And he was just, he was one of them guys you couldn't help but like. Just his whole overall attitude above and beyond being the solid of a player that he was. But just his demeanor, especially if we could get somebody to jump off sides, he stands up, starts pointing at them and all that and everything. And the guy's just funny. He's hilarious. And I'm glad he's doing as well as he's doing, and very proud that he come to spend his last year with us.
Well, and I know a lot of the former players are coming back here. Many of them have obligations, whether they're playing or media responsibilities. They're not able to get to Bryant-Denny Stadium and coming back to support their alma mater. And, not just from a standpoint of an alum inside the University of Alabama, but an alum inside the football program. It's important to these guys. And you look at Landon Dickerson, he made a quick impact and was a guy that, I love the tone because he set that tone on that offensive line. Man, he was wow.
Exactly.
I want that back, Pee Wee, don't you? I mean, I would love to see that back at Alabama.
Yes, sir. I mean, Pee Wee's dream of the perfect offensive line is always being a finalist. You may not win it every year, but always being a finalist for the Joe Moore Award. If we can be there, we're doing pretty good. So, and if our offensive line does really well, then our offense does extremely well. So I'm really, really curious to see how all this is going to go tomorrow.
What are you going in other than offensive line looking at?
running backs, defensive backs is going to be. I'm curious. I caught the kid's name the other day, but the first name was Red, the one that they were talking
Red
about.
Morgan. Red Morgan from over in East Alabama, Phoenix City.
Correct. Reminding people of Caleb Downs. Well, man, I couldn't wish that to be more true than anything, because that means this kid is really good.
And I need to go look it up. I know he was over at Central Phoenix City. Is Woodrow Lowe still over there?
As a head coach?
No, I think it's assistant. I thought he was assistant. But was it a head coach?
I thought it might have been somewhere. I wasn't sure if it was there. I'm honestly not sure where he is coaching at.
The only reason I'm trying to dial this in is they say Red Morgan, because we were told by, I believe, Colin Hitchler and I believe Mo Linguist said, hey, this guy's teaching some of the coaches about the Alabama tradition, the Alabama way of doing things. And the only reason I brought up Woodrow Lowe, he's a 3-time All-American at the University of Alabama, one of the most important players here from 1972 to 1975, and really played a very special role in the integration of the University of Alabama and integrating our football team. So Woodrow Lowe is just a dynamic football player. But I was trying to connect the dots with how this young man walked in as a true freshman and is educating people. And I think we need that core of guys that are from this state that can understand this Alabama tradition. And anyway, I just trying to connect the dots. Either this young man is a big-time Alabama fan and grew up just saying, you know what, I want to play football at the University of Alabama. But it's my understanding is he's already taught a few of those coaches a few neat things about this great tradition that's the crimson and white.
Right, and I'm sure he is. He sounds like a lifelong fan and somebody whose heart was set on playing his college ball wearing crimson and white, and it didn't really matter what else was going to happen.
You won't get him out of the portal if what I'm hearing is true. He's like, hey, forget it. And I heard another player a couple of weeks ago say that, you know what, I committed many years ago to play 4 years. That portal's not an option for me. I like when players say that. Kind of gets me a little fired up.
Right. They was talking about, how if that's the same one I'm thinking about, he was saying, well, Malachi stayed and Jalen stayed. He said, why would I go anywhere else? Why would I leave?
Yeah, that's right. Good point.
So,
hey, I committed for 4 years, which I love when that commitment means something. Right. But I also understand in this current structure that we live in, and we talked about with Brad Crawford yesterday, I don't blame the players.
Right. Yeah, I mean, they're doing what they think is best for them and their families. And I understand that part of it. I just wish there was a little bit more structure to it.
And that's the part when the NCAA, but I mean, we saw a great example a month ago. They threw up their hands and said, guys, we're not going to enforce any of these rules. We're not going to do this. We're not going to do this. Is that really where we want to take? I mean, can somebody, I know leadership is tough, but can someone please be a leader in the world of college athletics? I'm not talking about coaches. I'm talking about bureaucrats, leaders, administration. Somebody take charge. Greg Sankey, we're kind of looking at you. We'd like to see if they can't do it in Indiana, maybe you can do it from a conference perspective.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, something's got to happen. Because it ain't nothing but a free-for-all. You come and go as you please, go where you please. What was not supposed to be a recruiting deal is now the recruiting deal. It's about how much money can I get. And everybody knows the old thing, money talks and the other walks.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Pee Wee, what do you think will be the crowd tomorrow? I'm writing it down attendance-wise, little projection contest here.
I'm going to go 73.5.
Okay. All right. So you're a little lower than my range. I went 75 to 85, and I'll try to give you maybe a little more precise countdown, but that was earlier this week, and that was kind of rainy day.
It's hard. It's really hard. Because it being on TV, I think is going to keep some people away, which is, you notice when you started talking about all of the attendances a little while ago, attendance started to decrease when ESPN started broadcasting the A-Day game pretty much every year.
Good point.
But I still think that there is a huge interest in this game from so many different perspectives, that people are wanting to come see what's going on and see for themselves. They've heard the talk that everything is different but yet the same in a lot of senses and ways, and they want to come see that, because they're kind of in the unknown and they want to see it for themselves.
Good point.
And it's going to be a great day tomorrow. It's going to be a fantastic day.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I'm excited about hearing you are too, because you drove, about 4.5 hours away. Pee Wee, I got you down. Give me the 73. What was the additional part? What'd you know?
5.
Okay, 73.5. Got it. Thank you, Pee Wee. Roll Tide to you, man.
Roll Tide, brother.
Right back to you. Pee Wee and Grand Bay. We'll continue with more phone calls. We do have Brent Beard coming up in a couple of minutes. We'll go, let me look at the call board. Bubba in Northport will work our way to you. We're taking, what do you think? What's your kind of excitement around this level? We'll dive into it. We'll continue with your phone calls coming up in a couple of minutes. T-Town Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC, your home of Alabama Crimson Tide Sports.
Now, this hour's West Alabama real-time news update from the Tuscaloosa Thread Newsroom.
The University of Alabama's annual A-Day is on Saturday. Find out 9 fun facts about A-Day that you didn't know about. Plus, if you're headed to Bryant-Denny Stadium tomorrow for A-Day, we have an exclusive weather guide for you that includes hourly weather conditions and temperatures. You can get all these details at TuscaloosaThread.com. And if you tap our free Tuscaloosa Thread app, you can keep up with the Crimson Tide's 2024-2025.
I'm pulling them off. 24/7 U.S.-based customer service. It pays to Discover. Limitations apply. Learn more at discover.com/credit card.
DreamlandBBQ.com. Dreamland Barbecue since 1958. Coach Bryant arrived at the University of Alabama. So did Dreamland with Big Daddy's Barbecue Hickory Smoke Ribs. If you're talking about catering for that big tailgate, or maybe it's just that family gathering or that small office party, you can do it at either location. You can also order online. Carry out, curbside pickup, delivery are now available. It is DreamlandBBQ.com. We do our score prediction every Tuesday and Wednesday, made possible by Dreamland. That wonderful hickory smoked barbecue ribs. How about the Big Daddy barbecue sandwich? Those wings are underrated. They're one of the best in town. You'll find them there. How about those barbecue baked potatoes? Absolutely. Either location.
Thousands of kids who've been waiting over a year. End their wait. Sponsor a child with compassion today. Just text the word radio to 83393.
The Pharmacy at Midtown, TJ Thomas. He's the Nick Saban of pharmacists. And if your pharmacist doesn't have an Alabama shirt on, you don't want him. 205-752-0627. Sterile compounding facility, the only sterile compounding facility here in T-Town and West Alabama. All the compounding needs, the retail side. If you're looking for a pharmacy, many of those have closed here in West Alabama, and you're looking to transfer your prescriptions.
On and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code GEAR for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code GEAR.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
What a beautiful afternoon. The sky sunny, the high 70. Clear tonight, the low 45. The weekend looks good. Sunny weather continues tomorrow and Sunday with a warming trend. The high tomorrow 79, the high Sunday afternoon at 83. I'm James Spann on the ABC 3340 Weather Center on Tide 100.9. It's 72 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
Alabama Crimson Tide lives right here.
Down to the pylon. Touchdown, Alabama.
On Tide 100.9.
Pure energy. Pure energy.
You know, I'm never shocked at the, oh, this is good. Turn it up, turn it up, turn it up. Yes. I want to know what you're thinking. I want to know what you're thinking. Oh, this is good, Noah. This is off his playlist. queued up right here. You like this, Noah? I want to know what you're thinking. It is a free-for-all Friday sponsored by Brian Hard Construction. I also want to remind you about Nuke's Eatery. If you're looking for a great sandwich, if you're celebrating A-Day and you're going to be part of the activities, whether it's baseball, which we'll have following this program tonight. Is it 6 o'clock? 6 o'clock first pitch? Jalen Milroe will throw out that first pitch, so I'm sure a lot of folks are going to be going out there to support not only Alabama baseball, but Jalen Milroe. Quarterback at the University of Alabama. QB1, right? Going into A-Day tomorrow. We're looking forward to seeing him, and I talked to someone earlier today that really has seen him take some big steps in the right direction. Nick Sheridan said that earlier this week on our show. We're excited that you're part of our show, and Mike writes in. See, this is the reach of this show, and I'm very humbled when I see these. We were just talking about Woodrow Lowe. Mike writes in and says, "Hey, Ryan, Woodrow retired a year and a half ago. He lives in Collierville, Tennessee. I played football with Woodrow at Central. My father was instrumental in recruiting all the Phoenix City players." Hey, Mike, we appreciate your father, man. We appreciate you as well. So thanks for listening and appreciate the info. But Woodrow Lowe, a 3-time All-American. That's the only reason I was connected it back to Red Morgan, because I know he's from that area as well. So let's go to Bubba in Northport. Bubba, good afternoon. You're in the game. I want to know what you're thinking.
Well, I'm glad I'm on the game today.
Yeah, where you been?
Well, I've been helping my parents. I had to move them from independent living to assisted living.
Okay.
And I've been dealing with Medicare on my own stuff because they want to charge me $900 million times what. So they don't care about us people that really need the stuff.
Okay.
So
all
that's
right.
what I've been doing.
Well, Free for All Friday, get it off your chest. There we go.
But I want to go back to the Final Four.
Okay.
If I can. After listening to your show on Monday, I believe I'm thinking like you. It didn't feel like a loss. It didn't feel like a win, but it really didn't feel like a loss. I thought we gave a very good effort, and we had a chance to win it.
We did. Listen, we don't even really need to talk. We can talk about the season, but all you have to say is, here we are on the Friday prior to A-Day, and we're still talking basketball. That should be a reflection of what Nate Oates has been able to do here in Tuscaloosa.
Absolutely. And I was so glad to see that press release when you posted it the other night that he had no interest in Kentucky. It made me sleep very well that night.
Yeah, me too.
But anyway, I'm not going to be able to attend tomorrow, but I'm sure going to watch it. I'm trying to. What was the question of the day?
We're just asking what you think about attendance.
Okay.
So we're gonna be one short because Bubba's not gonna make it. And Bubba lives 5 minutes away?
5 minutes away. Yeah. I just can't. I'm not really. I used to go to all the games. I'm just not with my foot and having to wear this foot brace all the time. Not able to really walk and get. Would get there from the parking lot. I mean,
you guys, you don't need to give me any excuses. I'm just here facilitating the conversation.
I know, but as far as what to expect, what to look for tomorrow, I'm with you on the offensive line because I don't think they had enough to play a game. A game. But I'm looking to see.
Now we'll be able to tell. We'll be able to tell tomorrow.
Yeah, that's true. But I mainly want to look at see how.
I'm sorry. We'll be able to tell next year, not tomorrow. We'll be able to tell next year if this is what he does as far as normal. When there's 15 offensive linemen, they're not thin at that position.
Right. But we will get to see some good 1-on-1 and 2-on-2 action tomorrow for sure. And I'm anxious to see how much improvement that I see out of Milroe and the other quarterback and the DBs is mainly what I'm looking for tomorrow.
Okay. What do you think the crowd will be?
I'm
sorry?
78,537.
78,537. So a big crowd, and that crowd would probably put it, would it put it up at the top in the last 10 years? Yes, it would. All right.
And I think that can happen with being Kalen's first year.
Okay. Your phone was fading out. Give me the number one. I heard 78, but I want to make sure I got that last one.
78,537.
78,537. I got it, Bubba. Thank you, man.
All righty. Thank you, sir. Roll Tide.
Right back to you. We will continue right here on the game. We're going to talk with Brent Beard coming up in a couple of minutes. A lot of spring games happening in the SEC, but we're going to be dialed in the University of Alabama. We'll talk about it. And I do want to remind you as we move on, it is DanielMooreArt.com. 4th and 31. Celebrate that special Alabama fan in your life. Maybe it's a birthday, a special occasion, anniversary, or maybe just, hey, go out and buy someone, lift their Alabama spirit, right? 141 days away. DanielMooreArt.com. DanielMooreArt.com. The legacy continues. You'll find the print available there. Celebrating those special Alabama memories of the last 30 years at the University of Alabama. We'll take your predictions coming up in a couple of minutes. Josh in Georgia, I see you. We're going to work our way over to you and Bama Nick, Tommy and Romulus, and all of the others. We'll take those as well. Brent Beard coming up in a couple of minutes, and a very special guest in that 4 o'clock hour. All-American defensive back at the University of Alabama. We'll ask him what spring game means to him, because he got in his car and drove 8 hours, 9 hours.
Glass pads and rotors together, you'll save 15%. It's just part of what makes us America's #1 brakes destination.
DanielMooreArt.com. Celebrate that special Alabama fan in your life. 4th and 31. The legacy continues. All those great moments in that Nick Saban dynasty. You can find it at DanielMooreArt.com. Remember, The Game is the code word for a significant discount. The Game. And also remind those guys, when you buy something, that you heard about it right here on The Game with Ryan Fowler on Tide 100.9. DanielMooreArt.com. All the Nick Saban prints, whether you're celebrating Mark Ingram, Bryce Young, Devontae Smith, Derrick Henry, the great Heisman moments of the
Profit offers more than 1,000 free online resources for youth and high school sports coaches, parents, students, and administrators. Visit PCADevZone.org.
Pastor's Kitchen Mexican food right there in Northport. If you're looking for the great specials daily, the fajitas are outstanding. The Pastor's dip, the appetizers, the fried ice cream, always a great option. It is Pastor's Kitchen Mexican food. Also find the food truck, and we are also now serving breakfast at Pastor's Kitchen Mexican food. Stop by the McFarland Boulevard location. You can also find him in Northside. Pastor's Kitchen Mexican food with Pastor Garcia.
The longest running sports show in Tuscaloosa. The Game with Ryan Fowler on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
I'd like to remind you about the Wharf. If you're looking for a new pair of boots, Justin, Tony Lama, Red Wing, Georgia, Double H, Timberline, Laredo, and many more. How about a new pair of jeans, Wrangler, Levi, Lee, Carhartt clothing, all the Under Armour apparel that you can find, the Rocky clothing, and also those turkey boots. Thinking about snake-proof boot options. I know you folks out there love to chase those gobblers. If you're needing the camo options, or if you need the snake-proof boot options, or maybe you're just getting out and enjoying the beautiful creation that we have been given in this wonderful state. You can find it at the Wharf. Hiking boot, casual boot, work boot. People in West Alabama work extremely hard. You got to have the apparel to match that hard work. It is the work and Western wear for the entire family. Open until 6 p.m. today and tomorrow. They're closed on Sunday, but Monday through Saturday open until 6. It is the Wharf, located on McFarland Boulevard between Winn-Dixie and the Blue Plate It is the Wharf, the Working Western headquarters for the entire family since 1976. Let's go to Brent Beard. He does Second Helping with Travis Reier. He does First Coast News out of Jacksonville, Florida, ABC News affiliate. Brent Beard, how are you, my friend? Welcome into the game in Tuscaloosa.
Well, it's good to be with you, and I will be at First Coast News, ABC tonight at 7:20 to do our latest segment, so I'm excited about being able to be there. But you know what? I'm just as excited about being on with you as we look at not just Alabama, but 8 in total SEC spring games. How about that?
Well, and I know that some people don't like spring games. It's like some people don't like SEC Media Days. You and I love all the above. I mean, whether it's, if they're going to get out here on the quad and do one of a spring football game, I'm there.
Yeah.
Line me up.
Absolutely.
Sign me up. I'll be there. But
really?
A lot of energy around this program. And Kalen DeBoer, I tried to explain earlier this week, I said, we always want to complain and moan and groan when players hit that portal. How about showing some appreciation for the guys who stayed in Tuscaloosa?
Yeah, you really do. And look, the other thing with the portal right now is a lot of this is, I don't really mean to leave, but I do want to see if I could get more money on the open market and or will my current school bid on me again and give me enough money to come back. So shall we read between the lines when we see these things, Ryan?
Yeah, good point. And I think I saw it yesterday that one of the basketball guys who had, Jeff Goodman, had reported that there's players out there that are asking for $1.5 million. Yeah. And I know the market will correct itself, but that seems a lot of high, hopefully. Very, very high. $1.5 million? Wow.
Oh, yeah, that's just ridiculous. I mean, you've heard the I'm trying to think of who it was, head coach of Division I football team, talking about how remember this, I think it was the third string fullback came to him and said he wanted $100,000 a year or he was going somewhere else.
Well, there's two ways in here, one way this, one way that.
I think that's what he told him.
But, and I don't want to get on this because next week I'm sure we'll be talking about the portal nonstop.
Well, we will.
But it's almost like, where does the authority come from? Is it coaches making some type of agreement with the conference commissioners and saying, okay, we're going to have to manage this? And it starts with us because we're not going to get any help from the NCAA. At what point do we look at this and say, who manages this? It's got to come from the conference level. It has to. I don't see the other way.
I think that's why you're beginning to see the alliance between the SEC and the Big Ten, that part of what they're doing here is not to put the genie back in the bottle, but at least, to try to get a handle on this and put some guidelines on it and maybe some tiers. You've got 1 tier, 2 tier, quarterbacks, running backs, offensive linemen, et cetera. In order to at least put some sanity into this, that will come quicker from the conferences, to your point, than it will the NCAA.
Brent, as you looked for Alabama tomorrow afternoon, and we're under that 24-hour mark, we're about 23 hours and 22 minutes away from Alabama's A-Day, brought to you by Alabama Credit Union. What are you concentrating on? What do you want to see from this Alabama football team?
Well, I think certainly you want to see is Jalen Milroe picking up, reading defenses and making quicker decisions. You want to see how Ty Simpson is looking. Has he looked as good as he has in these first few scrimmages? And do you believe how well that 6'5", 215-pound Caleb Odom is doing catching the ball? You've heard a lot about Zabian Brown and Red Morgan. You want to see how the Brockemeyer kid James is doing at center. I mean, that's just one of the few things that will be looked upon very intently tomorrow during that game.
Yeah, and think about that offensive line. Wow, that center spot. And you know what? I credit Brockemeyer for staying. to be able to, I know academics is very important for those who may or may not know. He's a guy that might be eligible at, to become an academic All-American. I mean, he's high in the honors college side of things and doing some special stuff. And I was told this by somebody that knows him and that understands his evaluation. He said he's going to be a millionaire whether he plays at NFL or not, because he's that smart on the business side of things. So he's on a fast track. So very highly. And really at that position, you better be a smart football player to play that position.
Yeah, you've got to be. Make the line calls and keep your quarterback from getting destroyed. All that's paramount.
Brent, let's dive into the strength of this football team. I've been kind of throwing this out going into A-Day. What will be the strength of this Alabama team as you look at it? I mean, I know it's just kind of a guess, but it's
Yeah. I mean, I think you've got two of the better running backs anywhere in Justice Haynes and also Jim Miller, much less the guys who are behind them. I think, could we say the defensive line could very well be a strength for this team, and which would be I'm not going to say that'd be rare since Bo Davis left, but it would be tremendous for your listeners to be able to look at a defense that stops the run and puts pressure on the quarterback. So that would be really something exciting to see, and maybe even the secondary. With the guys we mentioned, that they are young guys, but yet they can make a impression all the way around. So, and I tell you, still, I mean, that quarterback room is really good too. A lot of these guys we have not seen. Looking forward to seeing it tomorrow. But so anyway, I know I've listed several units and all the march strings, but it probably says something that they've got the potential to be, right?
Yeah, and that's the topic. I was going to ask people what are we going to be talking about on Monday, but we'll be talking about probably the portal, because at that point it will be already opened up by 2 o'clock. But I think the running backs, I like the running backs because early on you hope this offensive line, and even really out of Kalen DeBoer's mouth, he's talked about the run blocking is much better than the pass protection at this point. So maybe that combined with that strength in the backfield, maybe the strength of this football team.
Well, I will continue to say that Alabama beats Michigan if they continue to run the ball with Justice Haynes. When you're averaging, what was it, Ryan, 8 or 9 yards a carry, it doesn't take long to do the math on that one to see that you are controlling the clock and eating up yardage, and along with all that, that could have gone a long way in that game, and will go a long way this coming year.
Brent, let's continue the conversation here on the defensive side of the football. Definitely defensive backs. When you look at that area, and I mean these are just vocalized. Portal issues. I mean, you're having a coach that's being pretty transparent, and a lot of that's because he's done a lot of media availabilities. He met earlier this week with 5 TV stations in the Birmingham market and sat down and did 15-minute interviews with all 5 TV stations. And I know our very own Gary Harris was part of that and got an interview with WVUA. Sat down with Kalen DeBoer as far as on the TV camera side. I believe they replayed that here on Tide 100.9 this morning, but. It's a lot of media availability, so a lot of access, and he's kind of vocalized, hey, defensive backs can be an area that we can look in the portal and see if we can add some quality.
No, well, they certainly need the depth. There's no question about that. I left out Jalen Mbakwe a little bit ago, and I think he's another guy who could be special before it's over. I think that's quite exciting, frankly. And look, you bring up a really good point about his transparency and TV availability. And this is no knock on the greatest coach of all time. But I think the thing that you're seeing with coaches like DeBoer, they understand, how important it is for them to be able to communicate to recruits and to be able to communicate with fans. Well, we're in a different world now with this NIL, are we not, Ryan? Where you've got to be able to connect with this fan base, also, and particularly the media. Look, I will say, and you and I have talked about this before, that your media will either that they will get a year taken away off your coaching tenure, or they can add 1 or 2.
Yeah, great point.
Does that make sense?
I think the fans have more power now than they've ever had.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Because you need them. You need them more. And so,
you really do.
And if you're going to offer up $100,000, you got to give me something, whether it's more access or maybe a practice pass or somehow. And I know that they do some things with Yale, Alabama. That collective seems to be doing very, very well, and a lot of things that we can discuss. Brent, I want to take you to Kentucky for just a couple of minutes.
Sure.
What's your reaction to all of this with Mitch Barnhart?
Well, I think the reaction of the fans are what you would see if Alabama had hired a coach that really had not won a bowl game. And this is kind of what you've got with Kentucky. Now, the thing that I think really makes a big difference is Pope has played at Kentucky, so he is one of the crew in many ways. Now, my concern would be that he hasn't won a tournament game, and that's one thing that I think they will get over and they will deal with at some point. But it's very obvious that Cal and Mitch Barnhart did not have a good relationship, particularly at the end. I think in Cal's goodbye speech to fans and players, it was probably more what he didn't say or who he didn't thank as much as he was anybody else. But I know the Kentucky, the forums and the fan sites just were abuzz last night and today. But look, Ryan, it is a different day in a lot of ways. I mean, because the people they really wanted. I mean, Rick Pitino would have been great, but are you going to do that again with him at 71? Lamont Paris is a good coach, but he's not that seasoned yet either. And Billy Donovan's not leaving the NBA. So I think a lot of this is and I think they wanted a younger coach, even though a lot of people speculated that Bruce Pearl may get into that mix somehow. But sometimes, and Alabama saw this too, didn't they, Ryan? That you've just got timing is everything in life, and the guys that you think you can get who have won championships or who are big winners sometimes just are not available. For one reason or another. I mean, Drew from Baylor would have been great, but his family is cemented in there, and that's understandable. I mean, they will be okay at some point, but look, Ryan, didn't the Kentucky fans ask for this? Didn't they want a coaching search? And now they've had one over the last few days. And again, we got to remember. I mean, Cal and Kentucky have not been in the Final Four since 2015, which is about 10 years, and that's sacrilege for them.
Well, and you think about this. I read it with Matt Jones putting up, which does a great job up in the Kentucky Bluegrass State.
He really does.
Probably, one of the top local sports talk hosts in the entire country. But he said Mark Pope will arrive in Kentucky tomorrow. The press conference is Sunday at Rupp Arena because Disney on Ice starts on Monday. So I can't wait till Monday. They got to do it on Sunday, which is Masters Day, if anybody's paying attention. Probably won't be a lot of eyes. But, hey, Disney on Ice is very important. If you don't believe me, ask those kids about knee high. They'll tell you.
Yeah, boy, they really will. Yes, agree with that totally.
Yes, Disney on Ice is very important. Basketball, but I'm going to try to throw some, and this is for me in Tuscaloosa, but what does this tell you about Bruce Pearl, though? Because is he this untouchable that he couldn't get a phone call?
And maybe he did. We don't know that. Or now what I've also seen and heard is that they wanted to go with a younger coach. But at the same time, I mean, Pearl was not 70. I mean, he certainly got plenty of years left with this. But and maybe if it had gone deeper, that he would have got involved. Maybe they did try, and he said not right now. I just don't know, but or at least we'll find out more about that a little bit later on. But I'm with you. I was interested to see that too.
I'll take you back to Bryant-Denny Stadium. Michael Casagrande wrote an article that says it's time for Alabama to take that logical next step. And I agree with Michael here on this comment. A Bryant-Saban Stadium rename is logical next step. Should it be, Brent Beard?
Yeah, absolutely. It should be. Yeah, I don't have any issue with that at all. And I mean, you know, they may go with naming something else, but look, that he is the greatest coach in college football history, greatest coach along with Coach Bryant in Alabama history, and he should be rewarded that, frankly. And I would say the sooner they can do that, the better. And I'm sure they will. And I think Coach Saban would do a great job on ESPN. But no, I'm totally with that. That his name needs to be on the stadium, and frankly, nothing short of that.
And no offense to George Denny, okay? Nobody's taking it. I mean, he was a great, impactful president, and I think even Michael points it out. Hired Wallace Wade in 1923, and we all know what happened in 1925. Alabama won their first national title. So congrats to all of that. That's no doubt important. But Denny Chimes is already named after him. So
it is.
Move on out, Denny. It's now Bryant-Saban Stadium. I just like the ring of that. Bryant-Saban Stadium. Bryant-Saban Stadium. Quite appropriate, to say the least. Yes, absolutely. Brent Beard, second helping. Travis Reier, tell us more how we can get stuff. I know you said you were going to be on TV later tonight. First Coast News there in Jacksonville, Florida.
Yes, 7:20 on ABC. Look forward to talking about spring games in the region. Speaking of second helpings, Travis Reier and I have done second helping this morning, so that should be on Facebook and Twitter sometime before the end of the day, at Brent Beard, Beard, on Twitter. Look, if you're at work or you're busy and you can't keep up with what's going on in sports, give my Twitter feed a follow, because I updated several times during the day with the news of the day, particularly basketball and football in the SEC, and that will keep you abreast of what's going on.
Brent Beard, I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for being a part of our show. Always enjoy our chats every Friday here on Free for All Friday, sponsored by Brian Hard Construction. We'll break it down next week, and we'll overanalyze it. I'll promise you one thing on Monday. We will overanalyze it. That will be my promise to the audience. And we'll overanalyze the fan participation. We'll compare it to Coach Saban's first year. And, you know, I can't wait.
Well, and let me leave you with this. Remember this for your listeners. A lot of the folks, and I remember last year's spring game very well, but if you'll remember, some of the folks making interceptions and touchdowns and big plays, or do they have another jersey on today?
Great point. Another point. And hey, Brent, I'll leave you with this. We did talk a little basketball here on this segment. I guess that's a credit to Nate Oates and what he's been able to do.
It is, and the longer we can continue to do that, the better the better we're going. I do hope Griffin comes back. I thought he was a tremendous addition, great 3-point shooter, and if Ryland maybe just testing the waters. I know Chris Youngblood of USF is coming, but look, regardless, there will be a very capable team, very skilled team that is playing for Alabama next year as I give this thing another Final Four run.
Well, that right there should be within a credit itself. The Friday prior to A-Day, and right. I did it with the Tuscaloosa beat reporter earlier from Tuscaloosa News, Nick Kelly. I said, here we are. I worked in 4 basketball questions on the Friday prior to A-Day.
That's wonderful. Yeah, it really is. I love that. Look, I think your station and your listeners have just scratched the surface of what they're going to get over the next few years from Nate Oates.
Hey, Brent B., appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for being a part of our show.
You too, brother. Take care.
Hey, we've got an All-American defensive back that's going to swing by the studio. He's actually now a part of the media, and he's a guy that's a friend of our program, and we are a friend of his program as well. George Teague, the All-American defensive back from the University of Alabama, will join us in studio. He's going to break down a little defensive back, and he's here for a couple different things. For one, to cover this event and kind of give us his thoughts. We'll talk about A-Day, and we'll talk about spring game and the competitive spirit that Kalen DeBoer kept talking about yesterday, that he likes this competitive spirit of this football team. We'll dive into it with more audio headed your way in just a couple of minutes. T-Town Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC, your home of Alabama Crimson Tide Sports.
Weekday mornings at 6 a.m., The Martin Houston Show.
Join us for a Monday edition of The Martin Houston Show as we'll add Kennington Smith III to the conversation. We'll talk with you and him about Alabama's A-Day game, what you thought, who won the awards, as well as we'll keep an eye on the Bama basketball roster and see who's in and who's out. Those conversations and more right here on your home for Alabama Sports, Tide 100.9 and 1230 a.m. WTBC.
Catch the Martin Houston Show from 6 to 7 weekday mornings on Tide 100.9.
Northport Power Equipment, if you're looking for chainsaw needs, if you're cleaning up those leaves or yard debris, you'll find the backpack blowers, the battery-operated tools, the Echo Outdoor Power Equipment, Crest Outdoor Power Equipment, the battery-operated tools by Husqvarna, and you'll also find great inventory on the zero-turn commercial and the residential mowers by both Skag and Husqvarna. Service department, do that into the
733 800-833-0733.
Optima Tax Relief. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
A huge part of the game is SEC Parlay Pick Day on Friday. It's made possible by Brian Harden Construction, a diverse business, crane and equipment rentals up to 320-ton cranes available, the CNC machines, reverse engineering, laser cutting, specialists in modern construction. It's bhardenconst.com. Experience you can count on. Let's build something together. The website, very informative. It is bhardenconst.com. Brian Harden Construction, industrial contractors and fabrication, I-beam installation. Brian Harden Construction, every Friday made possible by Brian Harden Construction.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
What a beautiful afternoon. The sky's sunny, the high 70. Clear tonight, the low 45. The weekend looks good. Sunny weather continues tomorrow and Sunday with a warming trend. The high tomorrow 79, the high Sunday afternoon at 83. I'm James Spann on the ABC 3340 Weather Center on Tide 100.9. It's 72 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
Never miss a moment of the action. Download the free Tide 100.9 app today.
Aruba, Jamaica, ooh, I wanna take you. Bermuda, Bahamas, come on, pretty mama. Key Largo, Montego.
Kalen DeBoer made a comment, and he even made a reference. He said, I've been asked about this a couple of different times, and I keep saying that we're buying in. He corrected us, Noah, not once, but twice. Did he not? He corrected me.
He likes to say that.
Yes, and he said it yesterday, talking about this team buying in as practice number 14 concluded on the campus of the University of Alabama. Kalen DeBoer said this following practice on the team buying in.
I think you used the right word. I think buying in, because I think it's continued to be a process. Someone asked me that question, a few times, and I, said, "Hey, have they bought in?" And I don't think I know we're not to that point yet. I like where we're at, and I like the mindset and the effort they're putting into the buying in of what we're trying to do. But this whole thing we're on right now, this journey, is about the process, and I really feel like they are buying in. But when you're talking about 100, close to 120 players. I'm sure there's some guys that are still trying to feel it out and trying to figure out their role, and whether it's because of the schemes we run or whatever it might be, the depth chart, trying to figure all that out. So I feel great about overall, just generally speaking, both sides of the ball, all phases, and the team in general. There's some leaders that have really done a great job, especially early on in January, February, of staying the course, and I think a lot of guys have just followed along, and so it's been great. The staff, getting to know the guys and really focusing on the relationships, and our players appreciating that as we teach them the game, and they learn what we're wanting to do in all the areas of our team.
All right, there it is, Kalen DeBoer. We'll go to George T. coming up in a couple of minutes. We'll take more of your phone calls. Josh in Georgia, Bama Nick in Georgia, Tommy out in Romulus. We're going to get to you guys coming up in a couple of minutes. T-Town Tide 100.9, the home of Alabama Crimson Tide Sports.
It's the Tide 100.9 30K Workday Payday. Woo! Win cash every weekday 8 to 5. Here's this hour's cash code.
492. Again, that's 492. The code is 492.
Enter that code now on the Tide 100.9 app. Click on the 30K Payday button and enter the code for a chance to win $30,000.
From the Fox Sports Studios in Los Angeles, here's Monty Bolaños.
Tiger Woods finished the second round at the Masters at +1 with the cut currently at +4. Woods becomes the only golfer in history to make 24 consecutive cuts at the Masters. Right now in the lead, it's Bryson DeChambeau, who is 7 under par overall through 14 holes. Max Homa is done for the day. He is 1 shot back, and so is Scottie Scheffler, but he's through 8 holes. In college hoops, ESPN reports that UConn 7'2" sophomore Donovan Clingan will enter the 2024 NBA draft. And in the NBA, no Kyrie Irving for the Mavs regular season home finale against the Pistons today due to left hamstring soreness. Luka Doncic is questionable with left ankle soreness.
In some states, participation in DriveWise allows Allstate to use your driving data for purposes of rating. While in some states, your rate could increase with high-risk driving. Generally, safer drivers will save with DriveWise. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
TuscaloosaToyota.com, a huge part of our show. We are powered by those guys every single day. The service department, always great. The new inventory side, all those new Toyotas comes with that lifetime powertrain warranty. And right now, we have the most inventory that we've had in over 2.5 years. Camrys, Corollas, RAV4s, Highlanders, 4Runners, Tundras, Tacomas, also the pre-owned inventory. Most of the pre-owned inventory comes with that same lifetime powertrain warranty. See all of the inventory. TuscaloosaToyota.com and Tuscaloosa Toyota on Skyland Boulevard. We talk about grilling so often. If you want to dominate the grill today or any day, go visit our friends at Mark's Mark in downtown Northport. I walk in there all the time. There's new things added, whether you're trying to amp up the spice cabinet or whether you're going in for a great ribeye, a salmon swirl, a chicken swirl, that's what they're home of since 1978. The seafood entrees, the great cheesecake, the great pies that are made here locally in Alabama, the Blue Spring Living Water. You'll find it at Mark's Mark in downtown Northport under that Roll Tide Bridge. Go see the friendly folks at Mark's Mark, downtown Northport under that Roll Tide Bridge.
Go inside the Alabama Crimson Tide with the Gary Harris Show.
Hey, it's Gary Harris. Coming up Monday morning, we'll recap a busy Alabama sports weekend. Alabama baseball, 3-game series against number 1 ranked Arkansas. Softball getting ready to wrap up their series against A&M on Monday night. And, of course, A-Day 2024 will be in the books. Rodney Orr will join me to talk about that. And, of course, Casey Smith on golf as we look back at the Masters. That's Monday morning at 9 a.m. on the Gary Harris Show.
Catch the Gary Harris Show Monday through Friday Friday, 9 to 11 a.m. on Tide 100.9 and Tide100.9.com.
Alabama Credit Union. Feel good about your money. AlabamaCU.com. The mobile app makes banking so much more convenient. All the mobile deposits, many times you don't even have to go into the bank to manage your money, whether we're talking about checking, savings, mortgage, home equity loan, financing a vehicle. And remember, Roll Tide, show your pride with the official credit card of the University of Alabama Alumni Association. AlabamaCU.com. Alabama Credit Union with great branches all over West Alabama and throughout the state of Alabama. Alabama Credit Union. Tuscaloosa Tide at 100.9, 1230 WTBC. We are now 22 hours and 55 minutes away from Alabama Crimson Tide football, brought to you by Alabama Credit Union. It is a free-for-all Friday, and we do things a little crazy today, presented by Brian Harden Construction, ASME certification, I-beam installation, fabrication. If you're building from the ground up, let's build something together. And right now, we're going to welcome in the All-American defensive back from the University of Alabama that has made his way. He's a media guy, too, so I got to make sure I wear that hat. Teague's Take with him and JT Teague that you can find on YouTube, Twitter, all the different things above, but also KTVT out of Dallas, Texas, covers our Dallas Cowboys. George Teague, it's good to see you, my friend. How are you?
Yeah, man, it is great to be in the house, man, and come be with the GOAT, man, Ryan Fowler.
It is good to have you, man. We don't have very many guests swing by, so it's always fun. Fun.
I was just intrigued by the amount of security that you had around here. I couldn't get in. I had to show all kind of passes, and
well, we got to watch out for Auburn people because we like to throw jabs a little bit from time to time. You never know. The gates are imported, and we did have a few Auburn cats kind of scrolling in here one day, but that's okay. That's okay.
Boy.
Yeah, so we just got to make sure we remind them of who they are, and then they kind of go about their business. So.
I don't know what's up with that. Someone was talking about that, and it was just the differences of games as well. With spring games, we're talking about how they're charging people, and we were just having a discussion, Consuelo and I, about what do they do with the money? Are they, trying to buy more toilet paper for us to, or I don't know what they're doing down there.
But I love to see Alabama, and I'll tell you why. I don't like when we charge, and I'll tell you why. Because I was one of those kids. I never went to a real Alabama game until I was a student. My parents couldn't afford to go to Alabama games.
Yes.
And for us to come to A-Day was an annual activity. My parents would always bring us to A-Day, whether it was in Birmingham at Legion Field when we were doing some renovations or it was here. I think that's important to continue to grow our fan base.
100% agree. I think it's awesome. I'm excited I was listening to part of your show earlier when you were just saying how many people will really be there. And I think it just creates an atmosphere. And a lot of people don't really even think about what it does for the player. Also, yes, it does give you as a fan the opportunity, like you said, to maybe come to an event that you might not have been able to afford. But it's totally different when you go to a game and you're actually participating. It means so much to the athletes and the coaches when the place is packed as well.
Let me ask you from a player perspective. 14 practices in, how much does a game like this favor the defense?
It is the one time that the defense gets to have an advantage in a game, man.
But does it favor the defense?
I'm going to tell you why. And particularly when you have a new coach and new schemes going in on offense or something, it favors the defense because defense is pretty much more about effort and running. And you can have some mistakes, sometimes, but it can be overshadowed or forgotten because you can make hustle plays a lot of times. The offensive side is so much about execution. Did you run the right route? Did he block correctly? Are the linemen making the right calls? When the defense can be screwed up and you just accidentally send 4 or 5, 6 guys, and it creates havoc for that. So I know that personally from coaching all-star games when you only got 3 days to practice. The defense tends to look better just because of the hustle that happens.
When you look at this defensive side of the football, I said this earlier as I opened up the show, is it a little bit of a false positive? Because we thought this defense was going to have some growing pains. And really, 14 practices in, this defense may be better than what we thought. Is there a false positive in that because of maybe the offensive line not where they need to be? And that's just coaches' words. I mean, they've talked about, hey, we're good on run blocking, pass protection. We're not there yet.
I 100% agree with you that it could be a false positive. Doesn't mean that we're not good on defense, but you can't. It's going back to what I said here. When you're just going in and maybe your depth isn't correct or solid as it needs to be, the defense can shine a little bit more. You really need to see what the defense can do against another opponent who's been polished and things of that nature. Because as a high school coach, I guess I've seen that going through 2 days. It looks really, really good. You got everything scripted, and it just seems like the defense tends to win early on. And because you don't even have to put in as much, it's really just teaching them swarm. I know he talked about it. Get there to the doggone ball, arrive with a little bit of attitude. And then that creates excitement, and guys get to jumping around and hooping and hollering and all this kind of stuff. And it makes the offense a little bit frustrated because they're still trying to work out the kinks that they need to do to be able to, actually move the ball.
All right, so George Teague, and George is going to be a part of it. Are you ready for the flag football game? I mean, are you ready to go? I mean, is this...
I started stretching 3 weeks ago.
Okay.
That's not true. It's going to be what it's going to be. I do predict at least one touchdown, though, by Mr. Teague.
Pick six?
Well, they haven't told us how big the field is going to be yet.
Okay.
So if it's, I guess.
Now, will you high step to the...
Oh, we're definitely high step.
Okay, so if you do get the pick, you're going to high step.
I'm definitely going to high step. I'm going to probably work my way in to be the quarterback at some point in time, too, because I still can throw the ball a little bit.
Did you play quarterback in high school?
No, I was an athlete, Ryan. Come on, man. I can do that. Where you want me? You know what I'm saying? Put me in, coach. That's all I'm saying.
I'm just kind of working that into the conversation. So flag football game tomorrow, 12:30, and really I think a lot of former players coming back. I've seen a lot of tweets on the social networks, and I know the Bryant Museum's doing something special tonight, and A Club back in. It's a chance for those players that have obligations in the fall to return to their alma mater, and it's a chance for Alabama fans to pay respect to those guys.
Yeah, it's pretty cool just to be able to come back and see so much going on. Baseball, A Club doing things, a lot of activities. So it's going to be cool to see some of the old buddies and the newer buddies, that are all part of our A Club. But I think we're all excited, honestly. The former football players are really trying to see what this team's going to look like, after tomorrow's scrimmage.
And I think when Kalen DeBoer addresses you guys, and I think I may have said this on Teague's Take, is Warren Moon said, and we've been embracing this with Coach Saban for the last 17 years. He's made you guys feel welcome back here. And I'm not going to throw any coach out there under the bus, but that's not always been the case. Unfortunately, Coach Saban for 17 years, but Warren Moon said, that's the one thing that I took away. He said he made us invited into the program, and he wanted us. And I think Kalen DeBoer is going to bring that to Tuscaloosa the same way and continue that.
He's already started that. I'll give him my hats off to him for that, for just the way that he's interacting with everybody. Now I think his, I don't know what you want to call it, marketing, PR, whatever, with us old heads has been tremendous, and I look forward to being able to cover him and seeing what he's doing, but really just to get to know and see what his goals are for the program.
What's the number one question you have?
How much is it going to cost to come on Teague's Take? No, I'm just kidding.
Well, no, he is a media-friendly guy. He's a media-friendly guy.
That's not. I wouldn't do that. It's really, you know me in the defense, right? And so much we talk. I'm really, really curious to see what I know. He's an offensive-minded guy, but I need to know about the secondary and the depth that he has to create. And what is that really going to look like over the course of this year? Because I don't know. I'm going to be watching that part. I know we're going to be looking at the offensive line, but I don't know that we got enough depth in the secondary at this point either.
And I think your son mentioned it a couple of weeks ago, and I was in kind of the green room waiting, and he said there's no way. I think you were going through the roster with the number of scholarships in certain areas. He said there's no way you can play a 4-2-5 with 5 corners. It's not possible.
No, it's not. And you got sub packages, you got other things, and there are some talent there. You didn't ask me, but I'm really looking forward to seeing what some of the younger guys are doing. Xavier Brown is the guy that I really want to see.
You've been high on him.
What that looks like. I need to see him in person.
Even prior to spring.
Oh, it's unbelievable. Dave Campo, one of our former coaches with the Dallas Cowboys, when he started singing high praise about it, just watching his film, it made me take a deeper dive in it, and I just feel like this guy could be really, really good. But we'll see, on how he looks tomorrow.
Don't we have to almost have to count on younger players? And thinking about, Caleb Downs, what he was able to do last year, he stepped into that role and led the team with tackles. Maybe this is the college football era that we have to count on younger players to make a difference. I mean, across, not just here at Alabama, but across college football.
I don't know, man. I think there's going to be a little bit of shift back to younger ones. I think with, when you start thinking about how old football teams can be old in the sense you got COVID years.
I'm so confused with that.
So you got guys with, when we had someone on our team that was 26 years old, they were like, why? That kind of thing. My roommate, by the way, shout out to Willis Bevel. I think he was 26. He went to the military first and then came back. And, we talked about him so bad because he was like the daddy figure to all of us. But now you got to kind of, I think once all this stuff starts to clear up, that you're going to start seeing more freshmen play.
And you think this Alabama fan base will be patient with Kalen DeBoer? Like, do you think they'll be patient? Because it's almost a sign, the way that college football has changed. We even saw it at the back end of Coach Saban's dynasty, his run here in Tuscaloosa. Do you think we'll be patient with Kalen DeBoer?
Can you define what patient means?
Well, to an Alabama. I mean, hey, let me take you to the Bluegrass State. Let me go to Kentucky, and I'll read this thread. They're being very patient up there.
Yeah, I mean, to answer your question, though, I think it's yes. Well, I'm saying that because everybody knows that it's too hard for you to follow against a goat like that you can't expect the same type of outfit, or it's not realistic. I think our angst as fans might come from if things don't go as good as we would like them to, that other fans will just be in our faces and talking so much and talking about, the fall of Alabama and all that kind of stuff. So we just need to know, you got to give the guy a couple years, not forever, but it's like building a business. You need a 3-year plan to try to get your own people in, get your own scheme in, get those kind of things. You're going into a new playoff system, conference game, all this stuff is very different. So we got to be patient.
A lot of things that we're watching for, and spring football is on our mind. George, let's talk about, I know we got to get you out of here, man. You got a couple of obligations here.
We're good.
Okay. All right. So let me ask you about wide receivers. And really, when you look at Jeremy Bernard coming in from UW in a quick impact in 14 practices, he's been able to grab some heads in Tuscaloosa. You've watched him probably on tape when you look back at UW. Seems to be a guy that can be an instant impact here. Obviously, he transferred because he knew that he had a role in this football team.
Yeah, and I do want to give full disclosure to all of your listeners that I have not had the chance to watch any practices, so I hadn't been here to see any type of spring.
But you went back and studied this offense.
I did, very much, and that's why I'm really interested in that. As well, because I want to see how they're going to use these wide receivers. Are we getting rid of the ball fast? What is the time out of the ball out of the hand of the quarterback to a wide receiver? What do those routes look like? Because when you have talented guys coming in, and we needed it, no knock on our wide receiver core that's been here, but I don't think we've had the type of separation that we were used to and accustomed to seeing in the Jameson Williams, Devontae Smith, those type of guys. We got behind people, but you didn't really get to see the ride, the speed, the pure speed to be able to go that, to take the deep shot like that. I think that hurt us some because it's just not as flashy. So I'm hoping that he can bring, that to the table. And I'm hoping we get to see some shots down the field.
When you're studying that offense, how did you see the tight end being used?
There was so much RPOs and smaller offensive linemen. The tight end was not that big of a factor in the grand scheme of things, in my opinion. A lot of slot wide receivers, the outside guys, because of the way of the timing that I think DeBoer was using at UW. It was pretty much, you were looking at half of the field pretty quick and trying to get the ball out of it. Now, I like the fact that he could still take a 3-step drop and throw it deep, and things of that nature. So I'm not as worried about where we're going or what we're thinking about with the tight ends because I feel like the running game is going to be a little bit more different. And then at least the three wide receivers that you got to have on the field are going to see the ball a whole lot more.
How much would it be in a locker room when you go out and let's say that you've busted your butt for 15 days in the spring and then you go out and you bring a guy in that now wants to take your job? I know you can't be afraid of competition in Alabama, but take me in a locker room from a player mindset. You've busted your butt. You try to do everything that you possibly can to impress your coaches, and all of a sudden they go to the portal. How do you manage that as a coach and keep that locker room stable?
Well, I'm going to say, unfortunately, that the college football world has become more like a professional team.
Okay.
You're saying this, so I can remember even at the Dallas Cowboys when I was trying to continue to make the team. It was just something very weird and awkward. Like you said, that I am working out very hard. I'm not busting any stuff. I'm doing all the community work. I'm doing everything that I can. But on that Wednesday when I show up to practice, there's like 6 defensive backs over there working out. And you're wondering, okay, why and who is that for? So when you bring in someone out of a portal.
So you would actually see it on the practice court.
Oh, you know what's going on. And you're trying to figure out what's, is that me? Am I not, so it makes you angst, but maybe it motivates you or maybe it scares you. That kind of thing. That's when internally as a player, you got to figure out, okay, well, who am I and what am I going to do and am I nervous about this? So when you bring in a transfer this late, you got to make up your mind. Am I going to shy away from this? Or am I going to prove that, this is mine? I don't care that you brought him in or not. I think our day and age now, I think guys tend to leave, get their feelings hurt a little bit more. So,
that was my next question. Is like, okay, because Tuesday when the portal opens, it'll be for 15 days, and we'll go all the way until the end of the month. And I think maybe that first day of May is when it closes. If you're a guy in that locker room, it's almost like if I was a coach, I wouldn't get anybody to announce it until May the 1st.
Well, that's true, but
at 4:45.
Let me give you one more quick thing. So when I came to Dallas, I'd already been a starter. I was a first-round draft pick, and I came via trade, via free agency, this kind of thing, right? My point that I'm trying to make is there were safeties that were already there, and I showed up at the very end of training camp. I can only imagine what those other guys were imagining or thinking. I didn't come in as a starter right away. We bonded. There was no hatred, none of that kind of stuff. But 8 games into it, I became the starter. So I'm sure there's probably some little angst or feelings from my teammates going, we knew we didn't really want Teague here because now I'm still the backup. We're still boys, but I think it's you understanding as a player that now, this day and age in college football, if you're not prepared to know that, hey, they're watching the people in the portal, if they can improve, they're going to do it, or they should do it. Coach does have to manage that. You got to try to recruit your own guys and make them stay because you got to have depth. But I know it makes it hard on the coach, too, because you can't have too many. You and I were kind of talking offline a little bit about, can you have too many quarterbacks? Can you have too many fullbacks? Can you have too many tight ends? Because someone's not going to be happy and they're going to leave.
And that's the part of the juggle that, to me, I think it may be harder in college than it is the NFL. I mean, at least the NFL, you got a contract for a couple of years.
And you know how many guys you're going to have that, we also know as a player there's only 53.
Sure.
Or 48, they're going to travel. So kind of is what it is.
It's Alabama Crimson Tide football and a lot of things that we're talking about. We're visiting here with George Teague in the studio talking a little Alabama Crimson Tide football. But, man, this place is special, and people like yourself certainly make it a lot of fun to be able to think about tomorrow, A-Day. And Coach DeBoer was asked yesterday, he said, is there a value the same as spring football or spring game? And he said, repeat the question. And he just jumped in and said, absolutely. I think it may be more important now than maybe it's ever been because of that portal. Because even if you're not a guy that believes that you got a role in your football team, you're going to try to sell yourself. Hey, look, I may not be able to play here, but I'm going to show my future coaches there's a role somewhere in the football world for me.
No, I do agree with that. The main thing that I hear from former players or guys that play with me in high school that have gone into college who then jump into a portal is how important the film is, even if it's a spring game, and you being able to show this is how I look there. So when they don't even get the opportunity to step on the field or do something, they feel like they've been slighted, cheated, or something of that nature because they need that film, to be up so that they can try to figure out what's going to be best for them, as an individual, whether it's with that, the current team or another team.
Anything I haven't asked you about that you want to jump into? Anything? Because Teague's Take, you guys go deeper than I can go, and obviously with you and JT, and anything that you are looking. Because I already asked you about looking for, but going into spring game, anything that maybe is on your mind?
As I'm shadowing you tomorrow up in the press box, which I hadn't been. Thank you for giving me the passcode to the gate at the stadium as well.
You're welcome. You're welcome. You want the keys too?
Yeah, thank you.
I don't know how I feel like, because they usually stick us, radio, TV guys over here. So that's okay.
Do you have your own chair? I'm just curious. Do you got your own little spot where everybody knows, that's Ryan's seat.
No. This is a little different than Jerry World, okay? There might be some of those guys out there, little veterans, but no, we just find a seat. There's a assigned seat, but normally we don't sit on them.
I'm the rookie, so I'm just trying to figure out if I'm going to be in a little wooden chair over there. There's an elementary chair with the little baskets on the bottom of it.
And I don't think this is a problem because you've got your flag football game tomorrow at 12:30, but come hungry because those Denny dogs just have a way of jumping on your plate.
Oh, nice.
They feed us unlimited Denny dogs.
Nice. So let me tell you what I'm looking for tomorrow.
Okay.
That I'm interested, because a lot of people really do.
And don't do the plain. Do the ones with the ketchup mustard mix. I don't know what it is about it, but it's
ketchup mustard mix.
Yeah, it looks different. It's not your typical hot dog with a ketchup mustard. It's that Denny dog that they have this special sauce that they put on it.
Guess I haven't tried it. You put relish on your hot dogs?
I like kraut and onions, but I can do relish. I'm not opposed to it, but if I have a choice, probably not.
Are you from up north or overseas, or how did you get the kraut?
North Alabama. Kraut? I don't know.
I guess that's considered.
Well, listen. How many times did you? For my mom, we'd always have the kraut and Winnies. We'd come home and have a big pan of.
I can't say I grew up on sauerkraut.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
I mean, this is Dave Mahler. This is Kalen DeBoer's friend. He's a guy that drops all these Dave Mahler isms. Play the one.
Fowler. Short guy, beard, looks like a bowling pin. You know who he is.
Every time he comes on, he gives like some kind of audio clip, but I can't be mean to Dave Mahler because. He connected me.
Oh, well, okay. Well, you know what? The only thing I got to get for sure before I leave here, maybe they can take me out there while you're on the show, is I got to get a picture of the infamous car when you're always on Teague's Take and you're trying to get the lighting right and your phone set up and all that. I got to be able to send it to JT that this is the mobile that we're actually looking at.
Okay. All right. So my country bumpkin status, okay? Because you got to remember, I'm from North Alabama, okay? We don't get Saturday Night Live until Tuesday. I mean, it's far back there. Did you get that?
Yeah, I got you.
Okay.
I got you.
All right. So we're way back there in the States, okay? Like, Martin and I obviously are super, super good friends, and we're from the same area. I mean, Martin and I are from probably 25 minutes away, and Martin and I can understand. We speak the same language because it's when you get off the interstate, you're still like another hour away from it. So we're out there. So yeah, there's a lot of things that I mean, we speak a language up there that nobody else can speak.
Well,
we use words that are probably not really words.
I think we all do that. We're often part of that, but you didn't let me tell you what I wanted to look for.
Well, but the car thing. I got to tell you about the car, okay? Because what George is, because the offense is the audience is out there going, what's he talking about? What's he talking about? What's he talking about? I needed some lighting in my car, okay? And I took a spotlight, a little thing, and I hung it into the moonroof, sunroof in the vehicle. And it's because I needed light, and I put it up to make it look like that. But I've now figured out, because I don't know what it is, but I'm not great on technology. You and JT, and matter of fact, Martin does his show every morning on YouTube and Facebook and all these different things that I'm not there yet. I mean,
here's what Ryan didn't figure out yet. You got to get caught up in the technologies that they got this screen lock button. So he was trying to turn his phone and it kept flipping his screen over. So he was always on this side or upside down.
How do you do that again?
Or something like that. You need to hit the screen lock button.
Where is
and
that?
And then you look, it says lock right there. It got a lock and a little, thing on it.
What does that do though?
So you can't, when you turn your phone, the screen won't flip. Like
Learn something
if you're
every
on a photo
day.
or you're in the video, it won't turn.
I'll be a son of a gun.
So you just put it up wherever you want.
Hold on. He's got a son that's a computer engineer, okay? So, to be fair, George didn't walk in with that type of knowledge. Somebody taught him.
I taught JT that. That's why he's, anyway, my wife's not very good at keeping her face.
I'm not either.
Her poker face.
I'm not.
There.
And you can watch my Facebook Live videos when I do practice. I'll start it over here and I'll be like, why did it just flip? Now I've learned something.
Just hit the lock, man. You'll be good.
Button. Okay, I got it. Okay. All right. Continue. All right. But going back to, you said going in tomorrow.
Football. So everyone gets, because they always want, because we spend so much time talking about the 4-2-5, the 3 match, all the new stuff, and I've been really trying to dive in, calling people and saying what this is really going to look like. I'm very interested in what we were kind of talking about before. What is the offensive side going to look like? It is hard to look at offensive line when you're at games like this. I think I heard you talking about you got to watch skill guys because they're flashy and they're running around, but I got to be able to look at what's going on up front. Offensive line and defensive line, and see where those weaknesses are. Is there a problem at any of our tackle spots? How good is Brockermeyer really doing? These kind of things. What do we look like up there, and what does the second group or the next tier look like if injuries happen, those kind of things, are we going to be okay? And then schematically, what did we try to put in these 14 days and the other stuff? What are we actually going to show? I think this is going to say a lot about DeBoer, too. Is this a flash, fun time where we're kind of teasing like, hey, man, this is what's coming? Or are we being vanilla a little bit and just trying to execute? And, so charting these plays, I think, is going to be very fun for me because I want to see what he's going to mix up between run and pass, who's getting the most throws, the most carries, and then what does our guys up front look like.
All right, so tomorrow when we're in the press box and I'm showing you around through the elevator and down the press box and all that, so I'm gonna lean over and go, hey, what was that? And you can help me with this?
I'll be able to tell you that.
Okay.
That's what I'll probably ask you. I'll probably ask you like, what kind of questions do I need to ask? That's my youthfulness in the media stuff. But
I love it when you guys go football to those guys because the coaches' eyes light up.
Yes.
They love it because, we ask questions like, how's hot dogs and beans and how's the ribeye steak? Those are the type of generic questions, but I love it when you football guys can go football on them.
Well, and that's why, to me, that's what's really important to us on Teague's Tape, of being able to really talk about what's really happening. JT being a coach and player, the people we bring on are typically players or have coached. And so we want to dive into what's really happening. Not what we perceive to happen, but what actually should have happened. And if we can tell that and teach on that, that's really important.
All right, final question. You're a coach. You're an athletic director at St. Paul's there in Dallas. Is Dallas Fort Worth?
Plano, which is just north of Dallas.
All right. So you've coached, you've played the football game both at the college and NFL level. If you're talking to this group of fans, you don't have to question passion on fans. We got one guy's waiting hour, 2 hours and 30 minutes. We got another guy's waiting 1 hour and 43, 132. And then we got a guy from Montgomery who's smart, who's got in at 8. So, we're going to work our way through these phone calls here in a couple of minutes after you get out of here. But, if there's a fan out there that's on the fence, says, I don't know if I want to go to Tuscaloosa, coach him up. Why should he be here tomorrow?
You absolutely need to come to Tuscaloosa and be a part of this experience tomorrow for a couple of reasons. The first thing, if you haven't been here and you hadn't been around a spring game, I think it'll just blow your mind on what this fan base really is and the bonding. And I was just at Buffalo Fields not too long ago, and the amount of Roll Tides I heard and saw is just unbelievable. And you kind of get this rejuvenation in the off season for the fans to be there. The second piece is you really get to see a different side, I think, of the coaching staff from afar. They're on the field, they're interacting a little bit different, they may be bouncing around a little bit different. The next piece is everybody needs to see what kind of energy are these players going to have there. It's not a game, it's a practice. It's a spring game, I get it, but it's not, necessarily a win or loss. I think that's probably the biggest piece because you're going to know something about what their attitudes are by the energies that is given back to the fan that needs to be here. If you don't see that, you can't replicate it. I can't tell you about it. I can't tell you what the energy is in the stadium. You need to be in there. So, come on through. And then you never know. You might meet Ryan Fowler walking through the concourse or something of that nature too. Get one of his autographs and then you're golden. So
George
miss
T.
that.
The All-American defensive back, man. Appreciate your friendship. Appreciate what you mean to Tuscaloosa. Appreciate what you mean to the University of Alabama, man. I think it's what makes this place special. I was talking with Kalen DeBoer a couple of months ago, and he was learning about this Alabama fan base, and he asked me, this was on a private phone call, and I'm revealing it here on the game. First time I ever talked about it. And I said, this place is special. Yeah. He said, what makes it special? I said, it's the people. It's literally the people. I said, you literally have to understand that, the people live and breathe it here. It's important to you. And I think they've picked up on, wow, this place. He was blown away last week at the A Club, Red Elephant Club scrimmage. He walked in,
He's expecting 10, 15 people in there. Walked in, and it was just packed. Went, whoa.
Yeah, this ain't UW or any of them other places.
Yeah.
This is the place. We are legit, and we are here to stay. Roll Tide, baby. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide. Appreciate you, man. Thank you so much.
All right, man.
That is George Teague. Teague's Take. Find him on the YouTube side of things. We'll continue with more. We're going to work our way to those phone calls coming up in a couple of minutes. T-Town Tide, 100.9, 1230 WTBC, your home of Alabama Crimson Tide Sports.
Now, this hour's West Alabama real-time news update from the Tuscaloosa Thread Newsroom.
The University of Alabama's annual A-Day is on Saturday. Find out 9 fun facts about A-Day that you didn't know about. Plus, if you're headed to Bryant-Denny Stadium tomorrow for A-Day, we have an exclusive weather guide for you that includes hourly weather conditions and temperatures. You can get all these details at TuscaloosaThread.com. And if you tap our free Tuscaloosa Thread app, you can keep up with the Crimson Tide's 2024-2025 men's basketball roster tracker.
Get 24/7 local news coverage and sports updates when you download the free Tuscaloosa Thread app and sign up for twice daily email newsletters. Tide 100.9 Traffic.
Tuscaloosa traffic now from the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center. Well, good Friday to you. Foster's Ferry Road is troublesome spot on the northbound lanes at 8th Street. You got a crash. It's blocking all those right lanes. So right turn, right lane, and middle lane all blocked. You're going to have to mosey on over to the left lane to get by. Lurleen Wallace southbound near 17th Street.
Nissan is your number one dealer, and they'll beat any written offer or pay you $1,000. Keeping you number one keeps Townsend Nissan number one. See dealer for details.
Rumsey Environmental, serving the sound of my voice with waste removal services, portable toilet services, construction debris removal containers customized to fit your job site. Maybe it's remodeling. Maybe it's the storage containers. We did this about a year ago, moved all of our furniture into a storage container, brought out the construction debris removal containers. They customized to fit your job site. When you talk about when you have to know it's being done right, that's the time to call Rumsey Environmental, 205-248-0.
Nonprofit offers more than 1,000 free online resources for youth and high school sports coaches, parents, students, and administrators. Visit PCADevZone.org.
Don Wallace CPA, 527 Main Avenue in downtown Northport. Small business and personal income taxes, payroll, sales tax needs. They can also help you with nonprofit or church accounting or auditing. In business since 1999, they work for you, not the IRS. When you take on taxes, you got to have someone on your side. It's Don Wallace CPA, 205-345-5595, 205-345-5595. Don Wallace CPA, the official accountant of the game.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
What a beautiful afternoon. The sky's sunny, the high 70. Clear tonight, the low 45. The weekend looks good. Sunny weather continues tomorrow and Sunday with a warming trend. The high tomorrow 79, the high Sunday afternoon at 83. I'm James Spann on the ABC 3340 Weather Center on Tide 100.9. It's 71 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
Southern Ale House, 1530 McFarland Boulevard. Eat Southern, be Southern. All the biscuit sandwiches, the great Southern cuisine like the bacon wrapped meatloaf, the fish and taters. All the great sandwiches like the Yardbird, the great salads, the daily lunch and dinner specials Monday through Saturday at Southern Ale House. We've also opened up an additional part of Southern Ale House and expanded with our catering needs there to fulfill what you're looking for. 205-248-7500. Ask for Taylor, 205-248-7500. Catering from a small party to a large corporate event. Southern Ale House, 1530 McFarland Boulevard.
The Game with Ryan Fowler.
So great ideas can happen right now. Find out how to bring your ideas to life at Dell.com. Welcome to Now.
Nuke's Eatery right there on University Boulevard, 205 University Boulevard. Call ahead orders 205-758-2455. We always like to say close enough that you can smell the championships. It used to be the fringe of the campus of the University of Alabama. Now the campus has built around them. When you're talking about a great sandwich like the Nuke's Q sandwich or maybe a great salad, that macaroni and cheese is outstanding. The bowl of soup, a cup of soup, as we lower temps here in West Alabama, you can parlay those and you can pick a pair. Maybe it's a California-style pizza. Maybe it's the great chicken salad, the pimento cheese. Catering from a small office party to a larger corporate event. Nuke's Eatery, 205 University Boulevard, close enough that you can smell the championships. Go see Joel Bromfield and all the friendly folks at Nuke's on University Boulevard.
Stay up to date with the Crimson Tide. Local high school sports and Bama in the pros right here on Tide 100.9.
I'm in a hurry to get things done. Oh, I rush until life's no fun. All I really gotta do is live and die, but I'm in a hurry and don't know why. Don't know why. I have to drive so fast. My car has nothing to prove. It's not you, but it'll do 0 to 60 in 5.2. I'm in a hurry to get things done. Oh, I rush until life's no fun. All I really gotta do is live and die, but I'm in a hurry and don't know why. Can't be late. I'm leaving plenty of time, shaking hands with the clock. I can't stop. I'm on a roll and I'm ready to rock. Oh, I'm in a hurry to get things done. Oh, I rush until life's no fun. All I really gotta do is live and die, but I'm in a hurry and don't know why. It says I'm running behind. I better pick up my pace. It's a race and there ain't no room for someone in second place.
I know you're probably paying attention to everybody, but is there a position group or two that has maybe impressed you more than others through the first 14 practices?
I think impressed would probably be kind of related to maybe where you felt like you were a little bit younger. And so, impressed, there's a couple things, right? The guys, the sides of the ball or the position groups that have the veterans, you expect them to go out there and get it done, and so really like, some things that are happening up front, defensive line wise. But I also think that defensive back wise, there's some young guys that have just grown. And so I'm impressed with some individual play, considering how young they are. And I think, running backs, we got some strong running backs in there that just are really steady. And then, on offense, kind of picking two on each side. I mean, the quarterback, just the number of quarterbacks that we have that you would feel comfortable putting out in a football game. Really all four of them, and they are extremely solid, doing a great job with their accuracy, their reads, competitiveness. Just picking things up each and every day. That group has done a really good job from I don't want to even say top to bottom, just across the board.
All right, so a lot of fun, a bit of visit with George Teague, and a lot of things happening at the University of Alabama, and always appreciate those when you talk about playing the game of the Alabama Crimson Tide and wearing that crimson jersey. Appreciate George for swinging by. And if you do check out Teague's Take, and I know I've talked about it so many different times, him and JT do an awesome job. I think I'm scheduled to be on with next week there, and so we'll dive into that. Let's go to Josh in Georgia. Hey, Josh, good afternoon. I hope you're having a great day. Welcome into the game in Tuscaloosa.
It's always good to be in the game, and today is extra special because I am coming to y'all from Tuscaloosa.
So it means something to you, Josh. I'm glad, my friend.
It's good to be back.
It is good to be back.
As soon as I hit that Tuscaloosa County line.
What time did you get? What time did you get to Tuscaloosa?
8:00 this morning.
See, that's what I'm talking about. See, this is the part that Kayvon DeBoer is understanding. And crazy in a good way, Josh, that we are a little crazy.
Yes, sir.
Just a little bit.
3.5 hour trip for me, all total, but I was a little bit closer. I come part of the way yesterday after work.
All right.
And,
so you were on campus, Josh. What was the crowd like today?
From what I saw, because I did ride down to the soup store a little bit and looked around, a lot of people was out and about. The sorority and fraternity houses, a lot of people setting stuff up out in the yards, PA systems being set up. There was already people blaring music, and the energy was there. The soup store had a good crowd. I hit Alumni Hall early. I was one of the first three or four people in Alumni Hall this morning, and picked up three things while I was there. But the crowd has been good from what I saw.
Good.
On campus.
Good.
That has been good.
Well, the weather's going to be beautiful. The weather's going to be beautiful.
Oh, the weather was beautiful. And
it's good. Well, it's going to continue. I know it's 71, 72 currently right now, but tomorrow is going to be a little bit higher than it is today. I think Red James Spann, which is our meteorologist here, 78 to 82 is going to be somewhat the range tomorrow, but 3 until 5, probably the temps will drop a little bit, but going to be a beautiful day and really almost 0% chance of rain.
Beautiful day. You can't ask for anything better. And that was the thing. There was a lot of people out, doing their runs around the campus, running down the sidewalks.
Well, you don't have to worry about me, Josh, doing that. I'll do a lot of things on campus, but running is probably, listen, if you see me running, Josh, you need to take off and run with me, my friend, because we're running for something.
Hey, I told you I would run your lap for you if you get in trouble by Coach DeBoer. You tell him, hey, I got a guy who's voluntarily going to run my laps for me. He just got to come down on a Saturday and do it, but I will do it.
There we go.
And hey, lunch was awesome today, and had Southern Ale House, and got to meet Jared from Houston and his family. Great people,
great folks,
and,
great folks.
Even how should I say this? There was a sighting of Ryan Fowler.
Well, Southern Ale House.
It was good to see you.
My arm is a little hurt today. And it's simply because of people twisting it, making me go to Southern Ale House. I mean, my arm's hurting because so many people twisted my arm. And Josh, to be honest with you, it is wow. You think about Southern Ale House. I love Southern cuisine. I don't think anybody talks about Big Ten cuisine, right? Nobody says, hey, have you tried that the Michigan or Wisconsin food?
No. Nobody talks about it's all about Southern cooking. Where do you get your best barbecue? In the South. It's all about Southern cooking. Southern cooking, we fry almost everything. And when we don't fry it, it's just better fried. Am I right?
It is.
Don't get me wrong. Grilled is not bad if you season it, if you have the person on the grill who knows what they're doing. I just like to eat it. I don't care if it's fried, grilled. I don't care what the sides are, mashed potatoes, macaroni. Today I went with the fire-roasted wings and some fries. I did have a salad, but anyways, hey, them fire-roasted wings were tremendous.
The fire-roasted wings are always good, and I'm a chicken wing guy. I love chicken wings in North River sauce. Outstanding.
Oh, son. Yeah. A little bit of kick to it, but not too much.
And they will be on the menu, not this evening for dinner, but for tomorrow. They'll be on the menu for tomorrow. They'll bring back those fire-roasted wings, and our good friends at Southern Ale House.
So if anybody can hear me and they're in town specifically for A-Day, 1, you better be going to Bryant Denny tomorrow. 2, if you go by Southern Ale House and you like wings, get them fire-roasted wings. You will not be disappointed. That was awesome. So, if you're coming to Bryant Denny tomorrow, show up, show out. You want an attendance number? I know what our attendance is. It's like 177,000. I think our record attendance is somewhere like 101,821.
What are you saying? Now, listen, I remember 2007 because I'll never forget it. And remember, we're a little hesitant what happened to our country in 9/11. Okay, it's still in the back of our mind. Anytime you go in a large crowd, I don't know what it's like flying. You always on your mind. It just, and I'll never forget. I'm inside Bryant Denny Stadium, and I'm going. I got a text message from somebody, and it said, "Hey, is there a reason why the fire marshal is locking Bryant Denny Stadium?" And I went, "No, I don't know why. What do you mean?" And I was getting text messages from people like, hey, why are the gates locked at Bryant-Denny Stadium? There's literally fire marshals around the facility, and they're not letting anybody in. I went, well, they're about to start. What's going on? Well, come to find out, they were locking it because they had reached capacity, crowd. And this was prior to the stadium being expanded. So when we hit that 92,138, there was probably another several thousand that could not get in Bryant-Denny Stadium on April the 21st of 2007.
Right. And now we've expanded it, so we're from 92 to right at 100,000, almost 100, and 100,000.
Hey, you live in Georgia. How would them dogs react if we put a 90,000 in Bryant-Denny Stadium?
They only hold 92,000 now. And I believe we are going to have 99,850 almost capacity.
Whoa. 90 what was it?
99,850.
Got it.
We're going to blow the bull puppies out of the water, and we're going to blow the Barners out of the water with our spring game attendance. New coach, new regime, same championship.
And here is the thing. Thanks, Josh. Appreciate you, man, as always. I got you down, man. Thank you. And here's the thing. I mean, here's the SEC. We compete with spring game attendance. We do it all. No, I owe you a break because I know I got a little bit off track. Okay. All right. Let's continue with more phone calls. We'll go to Tommy and Romulus. Tommy, good afternoon. You're in the game. How are you, my friend?
I'm good. How are you?
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide. Yeah, it's going to be a great day tomorrow. Beautiful weather. Get to see Caleb DeBoer. Be the first time to get in Bryant-Denny in the year 24. So what else can you ask for?
I like that. And for those who don't know, Tommy is a fanatic when it comes to Alabama softball. He's the biggest softball fan we know here in Tuscaloosa. He loves softball. He talks softball in the off season. Even though we don't talk it with him, we just listen, let him educate us. Tommy said, Patrick Murphy, I love you, but I don't love you as much as I love Kalen DeBoer. That's what he said. That's what he told Patrick Murphy. That's why he didn't get the invitation to the softball premiere, but that's okay. He said,
you have pull. You should have got me tickets, but I can just see how important you are.
I don't.
But we won't go down that road.
But you are choosing to go to Bryant-Denny Stadium instead of softball.
Yes.
I mean, I hope Kalen DeBoer realizes the impact that he's been able to make. Coach Saban would have got a rejection.
I was there in 2007 when he first time showed up.
Oh, I mean, you got to go back 2007. Okay. But, I mean, if there was a softball game in 2023 and a football game, Tommy, where would you have been?
I've been at softball.
No further questions, Your Honor. I rest my case.
I mean, you know, like you said, you grew up in North Alabama. You couldn't get to go to Alabama football games. I've been very fortunate. I really have, I think.
You playing with house money.
Arrogant of me. I don't want it to sound arrogant, but going to Alabama football game been a family tradition in my whole family in my lifetime. And I mean, I get excited about the first game. Get to go back to Bryant-Denny and the cool, crisp fall air when it comes about a month later after the first four games. It's something to behold. And when they play the last game every year, I don't care. We've beaten them, somebody 55-0. I'm not leaving till the last second because you know what? I'm getting older, and I'm thankful I got the chance to be in Bryant-Denny Stadium that year. So,
Tommy, I like your attitude around this.
Well, I mean, we are the Mecca of college football. I know people. I mean,
for the guy that plays the bitter old man role on this show, Tommy, I like your attitude on this.
Well, I mean, I have 63 years to practice. I mean,
great reminder.
You're Ron Fowler.
I know.
I mean,
and we're not really enemies. I mean, Tommy and I play that role here, but we're not really enemies.
You just live in Coker. Y'all have stowed a state lake from the other part of Tuscaloosa County. But
no, that Lake Lurleen belongs to us.
No, she's from this part of
You guys have the swamp out in Romulus. and we have the lake.
No, I don't have swamp.
You get our leftovers. When we flush the toilet, it goes straight down to the swamp.
No, we have farmland, cows, and Bigfoot.
True.
You just have wannabes. You taking the good people, Foster's and Ralph, and you took their first lady, the first woman governor of Alabama. You took her name and put a swamp pond over there, and you put through some stand down there, and you called it State Park. And you charge people.
That is a beautiful state park. Just to be,
it is. It really is.
It's a hidden gem in this community.
Yeah, people should know more about it. I mean, really, I am shocked.
You just told thousands, if not millions, of people, Tommy.
Well, they need to come. I mean, the great camping facilities out there. I mean, you bring your RV or your whatever you want, or you can do the old-fashioned way. Bring your tent and camp out the old-fashioned way and do some more. It's a great park. I mean, it should get used more. I'm going to plug it. Okay. What else you want to know?
What are you expecting tomorrow? Who's going to be with you? How many closest friends are you going to have in Bryant-Denny Stadium tomorrow?
Well, I'm going to try to hook up with J-Rob and them, and I'm going to talk to Ellis and a few other. And tomorrow he's going to introduce me to Kit Kat again. And,
very cool. And I hope she doesn't mind, but I think we're going to take over her tailgate tomorrow.
Oh, okay. Are you coming?
I'm going to swing by. It is my promise to you and many others that I will swing by Kit Kat's big tailgate tomorrow, which, by the way, it's the old press box on the other side of the stadium from where we sit now, for where the press box is.
Well, here's a funny story.
It's the western stands close to the elevator shaft right there. So it's on the back side.
Where they have the big tent where they sell merchandise. She's not far from that. Well, the funny part is, till last year, excuse me, well, we had to move because the man who we parked by passed away. Well, his home or his yard or his old house, I was just 2 blocks from her, straight across. And I met her last year, and we had to move another 2 blocks elsewhere. We're 4 blocks away in Virginia. I mean, University of South Carolina. I would say Virginia, South Carolina. And I met Kit Kat for about 10 minutes. I mean, so,
gotcha.
You know, so I mean.
Well, they usually have some good food items, by the way, and I'm not saying maybe bring your own dish, but.
Oh yeah, you should. Yeah. I mean, you shouldn't impose. I mean.
You cook, Tommy?
Yeah. But I haven't heard from my other half of my buds from Nashville, so I don't know.
I got to get to this break real quick. Tommy, give me attendance real quick.
Let's go with 86.5.
There we go. Tommy, I got to run, man. I got 20 seconds to get to this top of the hour break, man. We'll come back. We're going to go back to the state of Georgia. Bama Nick coming up in a couple of minutes. J-Rob in Montgomery. Wayne, a new caller, jumping into the game. Pat in Tuscaloosa. We'll take your phone calls, your predictions, your analysis A-Day as we get you ready for Alabama Crimson Tide football here in Tuscaloosa. Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC, your home of Alabama Crimson Tide sports.
It's the Tide 100.9 30K workday payday. Woo! Win cash every weekday 8 to 5. Here's this hour's cash code.
577. Again, that's 577. The code is 577.
Enter that code now on the Tide 100.9 app. Click on the 30K payday button and enter the code for a chance to win $30,000. From the Fox Sports Studios in Los Angeles, here's Monty Bolaños.
Shohei Ohtani's former interpreter Ibe Mizuhara surrendered himself to authorities this morning and was due in court in L.A. And according to The Athletic, Mizuhara did not enter a plea. His arraignment hearing is scheduled for May 9th. In the NBA, Karl Anthony Towns returns to the Timberwolves lineup for the first time since March 4th as they take on the Hawks. Minnesota and OKC are currently tied for second place in the Western Conference. No Kyrie Irving for the Mavs regular season home finale finale against the Pistons tonight due to left hamstring soreness. Luka Doncic is questionable with left ankle soreness. Round 2 at the Masters continues. Scottie Scheffler is currently in the lead at 7 under par overall. Bryson DeChambeau and Max Homa cut currently at +4. He becomes the only golfer in history to make 24 consecutive cuts at the Masters.
This report is sponsored by Positive Coaching Alliance.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
Tuscaloosa traffic now from the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center. Well, good Friday to you. Foster's Ferry Road is troublesome spot on the northbound lanes at 8th Street. You got a crash. It's blocking all those right lanes. So right turn, right lane, and middle lane all blocked. You're going to have to mosey on over to the left lane to get by. Lurleen Wallace southbound near 17th Street. Watch for that.
I'm pulling them off. 24/7 U.S.-based customer service. It pays to Discover. Limitations apply. Learn more at discover.com/creditcard.
Over 60 years of serving Tuscaloosa and West Alabama. When you talk about the friendly staff at Pat's Florist and Gourmet Baskets, 1010 Queen City Avenue, when you look at the fall floral arrangements, maybe you're trying to lift someone's spirits a little bit under the weather, celebrating a birthday or special occasion, it's Pat's Florist.
Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. Just go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
What a beautiful afternoon. The sky's sunny, the high 70. Clear tonight, the low 45. The weekend looks good. Sunny weather continues tomorrow and Sunday with a warming trend. The high tomorrow 79, the high Sunday afternoon at 83. I'm James Spann on the ABC 3340 Weather Center on Tide 100.9. It's 71 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
Rolling down a backwoods Tennessee byway, one arm on the wheel, holding my lover with the other, a sweet soft southern thrill. Worked hard all week, got a little jingle on a Tennessee Saturday night. Couldn't feel better, I'm together with my Dixieland delight. Spend my dollar, park in a holler neath the mountain moonlight. Hold her up tight, make a little loving, a little turn it oven on a Mason-Dixon night. It's my life. Oh, so right, my Dixieland delight.
We're talking a little Alabama Crimson Tide football. We are always powered by Tuscaloosa Toyota. TuscaloosaToyota.com, 3325 Skyland Boulevard, and online at TuscaloosaToyota.com. As we remind you the great credentials of the University of Alabama. It's 18 national titles, 30 SEC titles, 147 first-team All-Americans, 77 postseason appearances, 45 postseason victories, 4 Heisman winners, the NCAA all-time scoring leader, and the greatest football coaches to ever walk the sidelines. We're talking a little Alabama Crimson Tide football, and we're talking about it here on a Free-for-All Friday, sponsored by Brian Harden Construction. And today, Bama Nick is the 5 o'clock. We wanted to save him. Noah, have we made a mistake? Because we could be flirting here with the unemployment line. I mean, we could be flirting here with the unemployment line. You know what? We were looking for a job when we found this one. Let's go to Bama Nick. Bama Nick, good afternoon.
Hey, fella. I don't want to hear about this. How you doing today and how I am doing? I'm still on this side of the dirt, fella.
Then that means you're having a great day, Bama Nick.
Do what?
You're having a great day.
Well, so day, fella. But
you sound like you're having a really good day.
I'm having a really good day drinking me some damn bourbons and Coke.
Oh, is that what it is today?
Yeah.
Okay, and it's 6 o'clock. It's not 5 o'clock somewhere. It's 6 o'clock over in the Eastern time zone. Yeah.
That's right.
So you're
But it's
how
5
long have you
o'clock
been?
in your time zone?
Yeah.
Look, don't distract me, Fowler, and don't step on my call.
Okay, I apologize, but I wanted to put you at the 5 o'clock hour. I mean, you're the prime time.
Yeah. Hell, I called 2 hours ago, Fowler. I called the hotline, and I'm stuck. And hell, I might as well call the regular line. I'll be on the hold the same time.
The hotline number.
What's up with that,
We don't have a hotline number.
You text me and said, "Bama, call this number." Yeah,
I did.
Of course, you say, "Don't tell my other callers."
I did. Noah, look at this phone over here and see what you see. There is no text message. You may have another friend in there, Ryan.
I sure don't see one.
Yeah. No.
Well, go on Messenger.
Here's Martin Houston texting me. What are your plans for A-Day?
Martin Houston, are you crazy, fellas? Let me tell you something.
Go ahead.
I sent you a text too, right?
Noah just sent me. Hold on. Noah sent me a text. I better respond to him. You have not. Okay. I mean, Bama Nick, you might want to check your text messages.
No, you might want to check yours that I've sent you on your personal phone and to your app up there at the radio station. And that's what I want to talk to you about now. That's something you didn't give me credit for. And I won't be credited for this. Talk about the little score prediction on the fan attendance. I told you Monday, Fowler, and Noah, and everybody else. I sent a message to you and to your radio station. Do a score or fan attendance prediction for the game to get something going, just to do something.
And we're trying to do that here today.
Yeah, and you took my damn idea and put it on your show today. But you didn't say Bama Nick told me to help do it.
Did you send an app message? No, will you look back through the app message? I don't believe this.
Your station, and I sent a damn text to you on your personal phone. Tell everybody.
Did I respond?
I got your damn phone number, and I got.
We've got some app messages.
Here,
from,
let's read them. Let's read them. See if you see anything for Bama Nick in there.
I'll have to go back a little.
He said this in Monday.
Okay, here we go. Hey Ryan, let's do a fan attendance prediction for the A-Day game.
Oh, he
Saturday.
did. He did.
I think that it would be a great contest. Ooh, I think Bama Nick. I think Ryan saw that and then stole your idea as his own.
He never answered.
What do you think? The app talks back to you?
He also said, Ryan Fowler, you can't sing a lick, and Joshy from Georgia sucks as a caller and a music critic.
Oh, wow. Lord. Did you really go after Josh? Shame on you. Bama Nick, did you really go after Josh on the app message? No wonder we didn't respond to you.
What do you mean?
You went
I
after...
don't give a damn about Josh. I don't know who Josh is.
Well, Josh in Georgia.
We was talking about that's what me and you was singing on the show.
Oh, yeah. We got a lot of... I think we got 3 bookings out of that singing. I think we got 3 concerts coming up, Bama Nick.
Well, that's good, Ryan, and you didn't give me credit today, but now you're running this contest about the fan you just read the text.
Well, then please forgive me on behalf of all of us in Tuscaloosa. Bama Nick, this is your contest.
That's right.
You gave us this idea.
My ass today when I'm sitting there with Kathy and you come up with this, and I'm saying, hey, I told Fowler Monday and Tuesday, I sent him messages and stuff. Let's do this, Fowler. Well, and go back and look at your other messages on your other on Facebook or whatever. When I kept telling you.
Okay. So
you don't ever read them, Fowler.
Okay,
you don't call me no more. You don't do like we used to.
Okay.
You don't call me when I'm running down the road. You call me.
All right, so here we go, Bama Nick. With this contest, no. Since it is, this is. Please, I'm asking. I know you're drunk, but
I am. But I want to get on your butt. How's that?
That's much better. Thank you.
Okay. I mean, y'all sit on here y'all sit on this show every day. And I listened to that call from AC yesterday.
Okay.
You know your buddy AC from Bangladesh?
Okay.
He said, Bamanek, well, you got to compare me with Mike Griffin. Now, how brain is that, Fowler?
Okay.
Mike Griffin is a national talk show analyst.
Oh, he's incredible.
Yeah. Me, I'm just an idiot that calls in here and talks about stuff.
All right, so since you're this idiot, that calls in and talks about stuff, Bamanek, I want to ask you.
Yeah, but your buddy AC, you're trying to build him up to be the number one. Okay. I know what you're doing, fella.
No,
AC is a moron.
There is nobody that can take over Bamanek's number one spot. It's like the University of Alabama. It's like the University of Alabama. We're always going to be number one. I don't care how many times Georgia does this or Michigan wins one. It's Alabama. Okay? Bamanek.
And that's right, fella.
I mean, most people, they can't even afford to put Bama in front of their name. Like, we don't go Bama J-Rob, Bama Wayne, Bama Pat. We go Bama Nick.
Bama Nick. And them other callers you got, I listen to your show, fella. And I listen to, and you know, every time there's a contest or prediction, you know who I hear?
Who?
People I never heard. They all call in. That's why I call them. It's like one of the other callers. The buzzing callers.
No, they don't pay me enough money, man. They don't pay me enough money. All right.
But the regular callers.
All right, Bamanek. Well, listen, we love you.
Don't cut me off, fella. Now, listen to me now. I'm preaching.
Oh, I know you are, but I got to get to this break real quick.
Yeah, but you'll give Texas Tony a bunch of 30 minutes.
Well, you've been on for 2 hours and 7 minutes.
That's what I've been holding to talk to you, Fowler. And that's another thing we're going to talk about in the future.
And how should we do this?
Well, you think Texas Tony's calls, I know you think his calls are great because he's auditioning for your show.
Okay.
He's auditioning for your show. But I told you 2 years ago, fella, when I started calling you.
All right.
I'm going to make you the greatest. I'm going to take you to
and you
the
have.
top.
You have taken us to the world-famous stage. So here we go, Bamanek. Because we got to hurry. So you got to listen to me. It's my turn to talk.
I'm going to get you on ESPN and
Thank
Fox.
you. I can't wait.
Well,
I'm going to go woke.
I'm just saying, fella. I'm just saying.
I mean, I can't wait.
I love you to death, and I won't. But don't take that moron AC's calls.
Okay, so here, Bamanek, I'm on
to your show. I'll take him off the show.
Okay, so here we go. This is Bamanek's attendance prediction. Give me how many folks will be in Bryant-Denny Stadium, Bamanek?
76,545.
Okay. I got it, Bamanek. Roll Tide, my friend. I hope you have an awesome weekend.
And I will call you because I didn't get a chance to talk about other points.
Okay, we'll do that Monday. Thanks, man. Let's go to Wayne. Wayne, good afternoon. You're in the game.
Hey, Ryan. How you doing today?
Good. I realize after taking Bamanek's call, they don't pay me enough money.
I know. You need the patience of Job to do what you do.
The patience of Job. Lord, have mercy.
Yes. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying divine intervention, no doubt, no doubt.
You are something, I'm telling you. I've been listening to you a week or two.
Well, thank you.
Don't know why. I listened to a game, just didn't think about listening to you down here in Destin. You know, we don't, nothing Bama local stuff here.
Well, now, whoa, Wayne. Hold on a minute. You're in Destin, Florida?
I am.
Well,
I've lived here 50 years.
We're going to have to do we're going to have to do like a remote down there. I mean, somehow, some way, we're going to come to your place and do a remote on the back porch or something.
Come on.
I mean,
hey, I was going to tell you, I was supposed to take some of the coaches. I'd run tarpon charters in the summer. I'm retired, but
super cool.
I love catching tarpon, and I've got some tremendous videos. I let people get in the water with them, and I lined it up with Coach Pepito, or he's gone now. He went to Ohio State.
Sam.
Sam.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sam had, I knew somebody that was working up at Charles Morgan's place up there. And it lined up. I was going to try to take some of them fishing, and it fell through. But it's something to see. I'm telling you, it's the only place in the world we catch them this big on real light tackle. So, but anyway,
how far off the coast do you catch them?
We're 100 yards off the beach. I pull in on the beach and let the people jump in the water and hold them. So I'll send you some pictures and some videos. Find me on Facebook or Twitter or wherever you is the best way. And I'd love to see it. And we'll be down in Destin. We'll be down in Destin coming up the end of May because we'll be down covering SEC spring meetings. So yes, we will be down in Sandestin. I'll leave my telephone number for you. Okay. And like I said, I've lived here. There's all kind of stories I could tell you. Okay. You know, I mean, there's things that. Hey, is Jared Johnson still down in that area? Yes, he lives in Niceville. Okay, because I knew he was. He was also a big fisherman too, which is a former defensive lineman here at the University of Alabama. Played in the National Football League and always. Wow. Okay, very cool. Yes. Yep. Yeah, he loves it. I haven't fished with him. I've talked to him down at the marina several times. Just haven't gone with him, but I just wanted to. I wanted to talk to you because I've been listening to you. I've listened to other people. You know, we have a lunch deal every day with a bunch of Alabama alums. We all eat different places every day, and I don't know. Everybody seems to be a little apprehensive. Just listen to your callers, and I told your phone guy that I went back and watched Washington, and if you remember when he's beat Steve Sarkisian twice. But when he played him, his running back, his second string running back was hurt. His first string had a pulled muscle, and one of his wide receivers is hurt, and he still beat him. And then he lost his running back against Michigan. And I'm going, man. I told him, I said, look, Les Miles won the national championship with Nick Saban's players. You don't think Kalen DeBoer is better than Les Miles? I mean, it's not even close. And
that's a great point, and I like to remind people that as well. I mean, Les Miles, I know he's a national champion winning coach, but I think Kalen DeBoer is on a different projection.
Yeah, and he said these kids are focused, and he's focused on not winning the national championship. I will be shocked. I'm serious, and I'll stand on 98 in Destin and say I was wrong. But if we don't win it this year, I'll be shocked. These kids are on a mission. And he's on a mission. And he's got the best. If you've read anything on the Internet, I mean, that guy that rates coaches says that our coaching staff is the best in the nation that he's put together. You know? I mean, it's a storm that's brewing. I mean, it's pretty exciting. I guess I'm more excited than everybody else. But hope I'm not, blowing smoke. I don't think I am. I think it's really going to be something. You know, Wayne, the only thing that I can enjoy more than winning a national title is watching these tears in the SEC begin to cry. I know. I would love it. Listen. For one, we would have number 19, and I'm sick and tired of doing number 18. I've done it for 3 years, which just feels like a drought around here. I'm ready to go 19 and 30 SEC titles and go through the credentials rather than 18. I've been doing it for 3.5 years now, and we want to move on. But I'd love to see them Georgia tears just begin to flow. And those tears, I mean, you might have a flood down in Destin coming all the way from Georgia, just flooding Destin with all those tears. And Baton Rouge, I'll tell you what, the Michigan, you never see, when somebody wins a national championship, they all come to Destin. So you'll see everybody be flying their flags. So, Alabama's always flying them. Georgia, flew them a little bit. This year, I've never seen Michigan license plates much. Everywhere I look, there's Michigans riding around here with their flags flying about national champions. It is unbelievable. They come out of the woodwork. So I get to see stuff that y'all don't get to see up there. But there's a big Alabama contingent down here. There really is. So.
Yeah, I knew that there were, but and I've got a friend of mine that lives down in Gulf Shores, and I think he's part of a big Bama club that's over in Pensacola. I mean, there's a ton of Alabama fans all across that coast, from Destin to Pensacola to Panama City, obviously down in Gulf Shores. But outside of the state, we're pretty well represented down there.
Oh yeah, no question. Well, like I said, I'll never forget. The last thing I'll say to you is when we hired Nick, my son was 7 years old, and Auburn had beat us 5 years in a row. And when he announced that he was coming to Alabama, we were standing in the living room, and I started jumping up and down. And he turned around and looked at me at 7 years old. He said, "Are we going to beat Auburn?" And I said, "Carson, we're going to beat everybody." He goes, "Really?" He'd gone suffered through that as a kid, losing to Auburn a couple of times. So he's, it turned out to be. Then he was playing Little League football, and I was coaching with an Auburn guy and an LSU guy. I walked out there, and I'll never forget both of them before practice. They said, "Well, he won't do very good at Alabama because the Auburn is, doing really good, and so is LSU." And I let them talk. They went back and tell me why. And one of them's a big donor for LSU, and I looked them in the face, and I said, "You guys have lost your mind." I said, "He is going to beat everybody. You're crazy. He's not." And they kept saying he's going to have a hard time recruiting. It's amazing. You forget about, just everything that Alabama's done over the years. It's easy to forget that. So, anyway.
Well, super cool. Hey, Wayne, what are you looking for tomorrow afternoon?
I think, I think we're going to get to see the offense. He said they got 75% in. I love the route trees that they're running. I like the cross reference. Think about this. You get Haynes, especially Haynes, with a pulling guard and a pulling tackle to the outside, and you have to worry about Milroe faking the handoff and going the opposite direction. But Haynes out in the open with two linemen in front of him is going to be a scary thought for folks, in the SEC. So we're going to, I just think we're going to really see a different offense. It'll be cool. They've got to put some things together. We've got to have tackles, and it's got to have some defensive backs, but he'll get them. He's got a lot of people lined up. Anyway, I think it'll be in the 80s, 80,000. You're asking how many people? 80, 85, something like that.
Okay, what do you mean write you down? What do you want me to do?
82.5.
82.5. I got it. Hey, Wayne, please don't be a stranger, man. And I'm going to put you back on hold. Give Noah your number, and I'll be in touch.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Thanks, Wayne.
All right, man.
Roll Tide. Hey, we have lines available if you want to jump in. 205-342-9904, 205-342-9904. J-Rob Montgomery coming up in a couple of minutes right here on The Game. I do remind you that we're always powered by Tuscaloosa Toyota, TuscaloosaToyota.com. It's a free-for-all Friday sponsored by Brian Harden Construction on Tide 100.9, 1230 W. Alabama Crimson Tide Sports.
Now, this hour's West Alabama real-time news update from the Tuscaloosa Thread Newsroom.
The University of Alabama's annual A-Day is on Saturday. Find out 9 fun facts about A-Day that you didn't know about. Plus, if you're headed to Bryant-Denny Stadium tomorrow for A-Day, we have an exclusive weather guide for you that includes hourly weather conditions and temperatures. You can get all these details at TuscaloosaThread.com. And if you tap our free Tuscaloosa Thread app, you can keep up with the Crimson Tide's 2024-2025 men's
updates when you download the free Tuscaloosa Thread app and sign up for twice daily email newsletters.
This report is sponsored by Positive Coaching Alliance.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
Tuscaloosa traffic now from the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center. Well, good Friday to you. Foster's Ferry Road is troublesome spot on the northbound lanes at 8th Street. You got a crash. It's blocking all those right lanes. So right turn, right lane, and middle lane all blocked. You're going to have to mosey on over to the left lane to get by. Lurleen Wallace southbound near 17th Street. Watch for that.
.com/sound and get up to 30% off today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
What a beautiful afternoon. The sky's sunny, the high 70. Clear tonight, the low 45. The weekend looks good. Sunny weather continues tomorrow and Sunday with a warming trend. The high tomorrow 79, the high Sunday afternoon at 83. I'm James Spann on the ABC 3340 Weather Center on Tide 100.9. It's 71 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
Light up those phone lines on the game with Ryan Fowler. 205-342-9904. You're inside the game on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Given everything inside and out and love strange, so real and dark.
All right, we have two lines available. If you want to jump in, we'd love to have you. 205-342-9904. We only make Noah. Don't make this not go to America's Georgia. If you can you filter out the technology? What I'm about to say. We only let Bama Nick wait for 2 hours. Everybody else is much, much quicker wait. But please don't tell him that, okay? I mean, can you filter that out? Don't let that go to America's Georgia. Because we have the app technology, right?
Did you want me to filter that out starting now or starting a minute ago?
Well, a minute ago.
Oh.
Okay. Well, never mind. We just screwed that up. Okay. We only let Bama Nick wait that. Most people are like, J-Rob's not been, I mean, he's much less. I mean, he's like an hour and 30 minutes less. And then we'll get to Pat. Pat's only been waiting like 4 minutes and 35 seconds. I mean, no, I'm just kidding. He's 34 minutes and 39 seconds. But J-Rob, only the best. How are you, J-Rob? Welcome into the game, my friend. Hope all is well.
Happy Football Friday and Roll Tide.
Oh, my
Tyler.
Lord. You don't realize what that does for my ears.
Well, it's practice, but we're gonna enjoy it like it's real.
Okay. Are you coming up?
Unfortunately, I had a thing come up with my vehicles this week, and I am not going to be able to make it. I had all full intentions of coming, but I got one of my vehicles tore down and didn't get parts in time to get it fixed in time to come. So I'm gonna have to pass this one this time. But
I've been trying to debate. Car trouble or root canal? Which one is worse? It's got to be car trouble. I hate it with a passion. Hate it.
Yeah, it is. But I did not want to leave my wife here without nothing to drive. So I'm not going to do that. So I decided to bypass this weekend, and I'll see it on TV, and I'm sure that I'll catch it from everybody for not being there, but I'll be there when it counts in the fall, I promise, if I have to take a bus.
Well, J-Rob, you're a guy that brings the RV up and stays. I mean, there's no we can't question your allegiance, J-Rob. You've been doing it for years, man. Or camper, RV, about the same thing. I mean, I get it. Recreation vehicle, right? And then what RV stands for?
Yeah. You can call it either or.
Yeah. So, I mean, nobody's going to question your allegiance. Now, for some that live like within 5 minutes away and they're kind of, doing their thing, I don't know. I mean, I'm going to take up some fan cards next week.
Well, if you live in the city and you're a fan, supposedly, and you
pack the house.
There's something, there's some question there, but everybody has their own thing.
I mean, Bama Willie's coming over.
Hey, so whose idea was this to do the attendance on
it was Bama Nix. It was Bama Nix. Yeah, Bama Nix. Yeah.
I know, man. I'm just messing with you.
It really wasn't, but we'll give him credit. Don't tell him. But yeah.
Noah told on you, man.
Well,
you haven't. You got a close enough rapport with that guy where he'll cover for you. Come on, Noah.
Yeah, and so
this is getting back at him for the macaroni.
I brought you a case of macaroni.
After
J.
he made
Rob.
fun of me and my music taste.
Hey, man, he brought you macaroni from Brett, man. Come on.
I brought him. Yes, I did. I brought him macaroni and cheese from Southern Ale House. That was not delivered by Brett. That was Jared in Houston, Texas, who said, you know what? I like that Noah guy. I'm going to send him some macaroni and cheese.
I do, too. I like him. But I think a lot less of him, though, for diving you out a while ago.
It is. It's a little bit of a challenge. I've never seen a guy eat more macaroni and cheese than the guy I'm looking at.
Well, you like what you like, And if it gets him by, that's the thing. If it gets him by, he's good. If it satisfies him, that's all.
No. I want to get like some bacon bits or something to put some kind of protein in there.
No, I'm not a fan of the bacon bits.
Okay, well,
Conecuh sausage on the side.
Yeah, I mean tuna or whatever. I mean, I don't.
Gotta have some protein in there, Noah.
I liked when Brett put the chicken on it. That was fine to me. I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the chicken and the macaroni. That was good.
I enjoy the.
He bought you like a tub of that stuff too. By the way, I mean it was
a lot.
Brett does make some fine chicken now. Ooh wee! Either way, it don't matter how he cooks it.
Y'all got me talking food.
Just because we know you like it,
No, I love food. I mean, I was already thinking about that. And by the way, J-Rob calling from Montgomery, that is the home of George Teague. And I know he was not born there, but he played high school football there. His dad was in the military that brought him to Montgomery.
Davis High School.
So always fun, a bit of talk with a legend and talk a little Alabama Crimson Tide football. So
he's also a Dallas Cowboy. And a Dallas Cowboy fan for life. I mean, he still tailgates, goes to the game. He's a Cowboy for life. How about them Cowboys? We need to stop. We need to put up or shut up this year.
J-Rob,
we're talking about Alabama football now.
J-Rob. I've been saying that for years, so I've learned one from the Auburn playbook.
Well, what? How to cheat?
No, don't wish for things. Don't wish for things you can't have.
Well,
I mean, there's just some things that are not going to happen, right? So
I love Dak Prescott. He's a good guy. He's a good person. He's just not a championship quarterback.
Well, I'm just talking about in Cowboys in general. I mean, it's. I want to win a Super Bowl. I'd love to be able to go and three-peat and knock the Kansas City Chiefs off their high horse, but
we need that one piece.
You got to know your role in life. You got to know your role in life. And J-Rob,
we're a 5-time world champion, Brian Fowler.
Well,
5-time world champion.
When's the last time?
Only 2 teams have made one more than that.
When's the last time we got that job done?
Back in the 90s.
Noah, when were you born?
Back in the 90s.
Noah, when were you born?
2000.
Yeah, J-Rob. That's my point.
No, you don't remember that then, do you?
No.
You have to read about that in the history book.
Pretty much.
That's it. Yeah. I mean, I'm just trying to be transparent here. All right, J-Rob, how many folks are going to be inside Bryant-Denny Stadium?
It's going to be 90,499. The one from 500 is me, regretfully. But
okay.
I'll be there in spirit, and I will be watching on 65 Inches of Paradise.
Woo! Sometimes that's the best way to do it.
Well, I feel guilty, but, that's the best way to do it when you can't be there.
Good point.
Something like that atmosphere.
No, my aunt lives in Montgomery. I was just thinking about that.
Well,
she does. What is she a government employee?
She had
does she know J-Rob?
The school system at one point.
Does she know J-Rob?
I don't know that she does. Her name is Dina Weston.
Okay, could be a neighbor. Do you know Dina Weston?
No. I'm sorry, I don't. I'm sure she's a fine lady, though.
Yeah, she's nice. She was in Tuscaloosa the other day. They went to the Guthrie's just opened, and so they were driving through, and they went to right down the road,
Okay.
That's a good place.
Why didn't you swing by and say hello?
It was late.
Oh, okay. All right.
They can make some chicken. They're good. They're good.
All right. J-Rob, appreciate you, man, as always. I hope you have a great weekend.
Y'all have a great weekend. Stay safe and roll Tide.
Hey, it is Northport Power Equipment. If you're looking for a great Husqvarna product, if you're looking for a Skag, commercial mower, residential mower, the Echo Outdoor Power Equipment, battery-operated tools by Crest and Husqvarna, you'll find those products. If you've got to get old Bertha ready for the grass cutting season, you can do that at Northport Power Equipment since 1996, 2 blocks east of the Northport Civic Center. Also remind you about Mark's Mark in downtown Northport under that Roll Tide Bridge. If you want to dominate the grill today or any day, it's Mark's Mark. And also they'll be cooking up some great items tomorrow at Mark's Mark, 1978 in Selma, Alabama, and now approaching 5 years in downtown Northport. Go see our friends. Tell them the game sent you. We appreciate you guys listening. We'll go to Pat. We'll go to Jason in T-Town, Marty in Arkansas, and many others. T-Town, Tide, 100.9, 1230, WTBC, your home of Alabama Crimson Tide Sports.
With only 43 seconds remaining, facing a 4th and goal from the 31-yard line at Jordan-Hare Stadium, quarterback Jalen Milroe finds himself under immense pressure, scrambling to connect with Isaiah Bond in the corner of the end zone for a miraculous come-from-behind victory over Auburn. The jaw-dropping 27-24 result came on the 10th anniversary of the Kick Six. Daniel Moore is proud to announce 4th and 31, his upcoming oil painting featuring the now famous Gravedigger play. New Life Art is now accepting pre-orders for limited edition fine art prints and canvases of 4th and 31. See the preliminary pencil sketch for the artist's full color painting at DanielMooreArt.com. Pre-order your artwork.
A better place. She can STEM, so can you. Check out She Can STEM for more stories and inspiration. A message from the Ad Council.
Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing. Call Paul at 205-331-6823. Custom curbing for your home or business. Do away with those plastic individual stone borders. Go for that more permanent, decorative concrete border. No more grass growing between those individual stones. Cleaner to edge to maintain. They're willing to travel, not just here in Tuscaloosa, but also in our neighboring states as well over in Mississippi. Many colors and choices. They'll customize for that individual taste and house. Give them a call at 205-331-6823. You could also go to their Facebook account. Find their page. You can see exactly what the videos. They came out, did a free quote. Paul gave me an evaluation. Give them a call, 205-331-6822.
So great ideas can happen right now. Find out how to bring your ideas to life at Dell.com. Welcome to Now.
Did you miss any episode on Tide 100.9? Don't worry. All of our shows can be found on Spotify and Apple Music and on demand on the Tide 100.9 app.
And reminding you, tomorrow we'll have Chris and Tyler, and I believe Christian Miller, Roger Hoover, also a part of that. We'll have that right here on Tide 100.9. Now, reminding you also, if you're looking for baseball tomorrow evening, it will be on Catfish Country. We'll have the baseball game in just a couple of minutes, Alabama and Arkansas here on Tide 100.9. But if you're looking tomorrow for Alabama baseball, you'll find it on 100.1. 100.1. Thank you, Noah. I appreciate you bailing me out because I didn't have that sheet right here. But Catfish
and
Country.
Softball tomorrow, too. I think they moved it an hour earlier, so it's 11:30 now instead of 12:30.
Okay, so that means they're expecting a big crowd.
Something like that.
Let's go to Pat in Tuscaloosa. Pat, good afternoon, my friend. You're in the game. I hope all is well.
It is. Ryan, 101,821, and we will turn away at least 20,000.
Okay, you're on the old attendance. Wow. You know they moved it down a little bit, right?
I'm going by. Well, this is what's on the internet, and they've got, because of the fire marshal, they're going to have to announce it, and we'll go whatever maximum attendance is.
Okay, how about I just write you max? Okay, I'm going to write you max. And it's 100,077 is what the new attendance number says. When they put some of the premium seats in, that's what happened.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, we lost some, but hey, now when Coach Saban was here, his first game, they were sitting in the alleyways up on the west side, and that's why the fire marshal got involved in it, and started turning them away, and it's just amazing. I think for the excitement for Coach DeBoer is going to be the exact same as it was for Coach Saban, and we're going to fill it up.
Let's do it. Let's do it. You know what? And I asked Coach DeBoer the last time he was on about what it would mean, and he said, I really haven't had a chance to process it. He will. He's going to realize how crazy we are.
Realize what it means when he brings in. Hey, he's going to be bringing in quite a few recruits for this ball game.
And I was told that he was blown away last week when he walked in and went, "Whoa, are you kidding? There's this many showing up for a practice?" Yeah. Yes, Coach. Yeah. Yes, Coach. We are a little crazy, but crazy in a good way.
Yeah. He's going to see that it just means more here in the Southeastern Conference. That he's never had this before. But those people over there, they're eating edibles and stuff up in Washington. They are.
Yep.
But anyway, Ryan Fowler, hey, it's going to be fantastic, man. I hope you can meet up with Mr. Houston tomorrow. And, hey, tell Martin it doesn't do the football game. I'm going over early to see the ball game. But Martin is not a T-shirt, how do you say, a T-shirt All-American. Martin Houston, if you put a helmet on him and some shoulder pads, he'll still hurt him.
Yes, he will. Is he going to play with it?
Tell him I said that.
Okay.
If you put a helmet and shoulder pads on him, we'll still hurt him, but he's not a T-shirt All-American.
Yeah. The flag football would not be Martin Houston's strength.
Forte.
Yeah, exactly. No, because he would take on those mean linebackers. So, thanks, Pat. Appreciate you. Let's go to Jason in T-Town. Jason, good afternoon. You're in the game.
Hey, Ryan. How's it going?
Hey, roll tide to you, man. Thank you for calling in.
Roll tide. So, yeah, I'm planning on going. Obviously, I live a little closer than a lot of other people, but I'm one of those people that's close enough that I should be able to go with no issue. I've got one good eye right now. I had surgery, but I'm still going to go. Anybody that can go should go because one of the main reasons.
I got about 60 seconds right here, Jason.
Gotcha.
Sorry, I got baseball, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
One of the main reasons is if you've enjoyed the past 17 years of Alabama football program, we're going to be honoring Coach Nick Saban. That's one reason.
Great.
Obviously, we want to see what the new era of football will be, and anybody and everybody should be willing to give Coach DeBoer more than a good chance to see what he can do. As everybody has said already at this point,
yep,
we had Nick Saban, we had Coach Bryant.
Good point.
Those are two elite coaches that you will never ever see probably ever again in your life.
No doubt.
Coach DeBoer a chance,
yeah,
and let's see what he can do.
Give me a attendance number real quick.
82, Ryan. Keep fighting the good fight.
Thanks, Jason. And I'm sorry, I'm not going to be able to get to Karen. I'm literally like 10 seconds away. We remind you that we call this program The Game, and the only way that you can win the big game, the game of life, is to walk daily with our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Good night, T-Town.
Thank you for listening to The Game with Ryan Fowler.